Right. This is session 13, I believe, of our Ultraviolet Grasslands. And it is, according to the big calendar on the wall, first week of first month, which means the cold, the futile, cold, terrible winter is over. It's just kind of bad now. So, great. So we are at the last Sarai. Let's do a little recap if folks want to say what they remember from last time and what you might want to do this time. Anyone can jump in.
Don't remember much. We've been holed up in a city for a really long time.
Yeah.
Studying. I'm studying how to be a better fighter.
Oh, that's right. You're studying with black helmets.
Mm-hmm. They asked me to join, but I'm like, I can't be tied down, man. I'm a traveler.
Trying to remember what I was up to last time. I know I remember oh, right. I met with another agent from the company I work for, which was called
Ascalana. That's right. From
Ascalana from
Nerix Unlimited.
Oneric, yeah. Asking my progress on my the goal that I rolled randomly when I created this when I created the character, which was basically try to sell stuff to ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And the player, hadn't really been working toward that, but I think we only interacted with like a couple of disembodied spirits, and they were all just like universally really, really hostile and just wanted to kill you and steal your life force.
Usually pretty mad.
So they really didn't have much to offer in exchange for So I gave a report that, the ghosts around here seem to be hostile and are not particularly a good economic prospect.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a good feeling that if we press further west, where things get less and less, usual, that may be profitable. And we also left it that, basically I've got some period of time to do that. If not, they're going to cut me loose, which honestly, if I get cut loose, it's not that big a deal because I've been making plenty. We've been making pretty decent money.
Yeah, you've been doing all right.
And that reminds me, I also dealt with a debt collector who came looking for me. He was pissed he had to travel and then tried to bilk me out of his traveling expenses. But since I already had a caravan set up, now that I got my bean empire started.
That's right.
I told him to take him back for free on my dime.
Trouble Belly Caravan.
Hired the caravan and told them to tell the bank that he tried to bilk me. For expenses, so I paid for his expenses, so the bank doesn't need to reimburse him for his expenses like they usually would.
Nice.
Petty things.
Petty.
And also, I felt extra petty because then when I was going, this guy's a jerk, I'm going to give him a hard time, Aderon was like, here, I'll pay you. And I'm like, oh.
This Aderon gonna Aderon.
Well, that was a way higher road to go down.
All who enter the pavilion should leave satisfied with good conversation.
That's right.
If it had been outside the pavilion, Aderon probably wouldn't have done that. Inside the pavilion.
Fair. Want your house to have a good name.
That's right. So yeah, you got that caravan set up. Pookie bankrolled you some. So you've got a business thing going on with them.
That reminds me, real quick question. Does that mean I no longer have the traveling to repay debts to the butcher bank?
That is correct. Yep.
Whoa, I did it.
Oh, and one other thing about Phaedrid was he decided to get together with his coworker and go carousing.
That's right.
And I rolled.
You got yourself a pygmy llama.
I rolled that I got a pygmy llama that was following me around and was just kind of being annoying, so I decided to like sink some experience points into it. So I now have a level 1 pet pygmy llama. At the level 1, it gets a skill, so it decided to give it a skill called Spit.
Nice.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I remember that llama was very, very enamored with you.
Likes chewing on clothes is its its quirk. What was Aderon up to? Anything else in particular there?
Well, so Aderon finished up merchanting.
Mm-hmm.
So Aderon is now skilled as a merchant and clearly understands that they should leave the that expertise to Phaedrid. Um, I mean, Aderon now has a better grasp of the exchange of value, and that's been very important. But Aderon has also been exposed to shifting portions of March markets, and Aderon does not like that. Um, so Aderon is thinking about moving into hospitality in the future because Aderon understands hospitality a lot better.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, speaking of, so you are gonna set out into the wide world here. Um and so what is your plan for the Triumph Ventures outpost?
So the first question, I like Aderon is torn between staying here and going on quests.
Yeah.
The um Going on quests does have the advantage that Aderon um learns new things about themselves and the world. That seems to happen a lot on quests. The disadvantage is that Aderon might die.
Hmm.
Aderon has become aware of mortality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it hasn't slowed Aderon down that much, but a little bit. And I don't know how if this partly depends, Mike, on what you want to do with Phaedrid. Because my impression is that Keith Modan's basically, as long as he can expand his being empire, he really doesn't have a specific direction he's trying to go. Is that correct?
That is, yeah. He's basically traveling for travel's sake, just to
Yeah.
see the world, get experience, adventures, find discoveries. So he doesn't really have like a goal or a place, because he grew up on the farm. So he's almost the opposite. He's been stationary most of his life, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm done with that. I want to go out and travel and see places.
And Phaedrid's goals are twofold. One, he's like looking for new markets. Trying to buy low, sell high, that kind of thing. Trying to make inroads with trying to make inroads as to like selling my company's dream tech to disembodied spirits. Phaedrid's also a wizard, so he's got a secondary personal goal of like learning more magic.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows like the farther out we go, the weirder the magic gets.
Oh, that's right. You researched that the spell from the
The poem spell or whatever it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we found out that it was did I actually write it down? Remember. I think
yes, the spell can be found near the gall grass.
That's right, the gall grass or the tall grass.
Gall grass with a G.
Gall grass.
Oh, I thought it was tall grass as well.
Yeah, I think it might be tall grass.
Oh, okay. Because location 20 on the big map is gall grass with a G.
Location 20 is.
I just heard Mark say it.
It's gall grass. Yep, that's right. Gall grass.
The gall of that grass.
Yes.
So it's a ways away.
It's a ways away. It is on the way to the Spectrum Palace if you ever want to visit the satraps for any reason.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. Actually, now Aderon does have some interest in visiting the satraps. Since I am now potentially the seed of a new mission.
That's right. And you are in good standing with the satraps right now, because you did those jobs for them.
And it's also possible that if I were to get more information about the satraps, they could very well be said disembodied spirits.
They could be, yeah. You never know.
We don't really know. We don't really know what's in their suits because they never open the visor.
Yeah.
We don't know if those visors even can open. I mean, I
So
was, I mean, they look like 1960s cosmonauts, but
But who knows?
the if Aderon does travel, Aderon needs to uh, uh, clarify some things with Mook, who offered to look over the pavilion while
Right,
Aderon was
that's right.
gone.
Mook.
And Aderon's sort of wondering if they mis uh, mishandled the situation.
Hmm.
Aderon was, on the one hand, concerned that Mook not feel taken advantage of, but offering money probably was the wrong, uh, because Mook's interest is more in the uh, non-monetary spirit of the
Right.
pavilion and stuff.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
think so. Mook is friends with Pookie the cat, not like the ensorcelled servant.
he's not an ensorcelled cat pet. He's just
Right.
a friend.
Which you have never seen before.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I think, and Pookie was like, I just want to go back to the Violet City. So it's unclear whether Mook would go back. That's probably not going to happen anytime soon, though. But yeah, so that's all stuff under consideration.
right. So, I mean, from Aderon would gladly. Mook's probably one of the few people Aderon would turn the pavilion over to
Mhm.
during their absence. If Mook is interested in um, adding a responsibility. And I know that in theory, um, Magazine and maybe Apate might, we were thinking Magazine at the very least might come and stay
Right
um,
at the outposts.
at the outpost, right? Um, but yeah, if we were headed in the directions of the satraps, Aderon would be interested in that journey.
Yeah.
Also, I really don't want to stop playing this character because I love this character.
We could easily make a convincing argument for him to come along.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
you can also, like, if you want to leave him here for a while and play someone else, you can do that. And then when you want to come back to Aderon, we can make that happen. So
Yeah. And that's why I was partly trying to understand what Phaedra's goals were, because Phaedra's got the clearest goals for long distance travel.
I mean, ultimately, Phaedra wants to get all the way to Black City, which he knows is probably going to take a year or thereabout. Especially given the rate that we are traveling, and then we just spent 3 months in Last Sarai.
And at some point in one of our games, I seem to remember, didn't we picked up some tip about the Black City, didn't we? Something you like that we could get from the Black City and sell.
Yeah.
There was something that was the source of radiothermal fuel is in the Black City.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I've been keeping track of like the various commodities we've been buying and selling and where they come from, which will hopefully give us some sense as to like where we could buy it for cheap. And yeah, black and radiothermal fuel. It's not the base price is only 500 cash, so that's not a, and it seems to be like valuable in a lot of other places.
Yeah.
And there's much value. I mean, rumors have it that it's the proverbial city of gold. Like there's all sorts of wonderful and fantastical promises and speculations about what's there. So I think we brought back.
So yeah, Phaedra is enough of an advertising engineer to know that it's probably not nearly as good as the legends have it. But he's still very interested in seeing out what it is really like.
Yeah.
He's just trying to keep his expectations low.
Well, Aderon will accompany on this journey, and then depending on what happens, maybe in the future, Aderon will come back to the Last Sarai to continue running the pavilion. The other thing that Aderon is paying attention to is not only so several rumors that we've had suggest that the nomads in this area don't want to come to this area because of the mouth that will suck them into time.
That's right. The
Interesting thing about that is we already knew that there was supposed to be a time gate at that one location.
oh yeah, you found the inactive gate in the storage container that the guy who tried to rip you off trying to sell you something
Yeah,
else. He's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh yeah, this whole piece of junk.
yeah. But
Yeah,
so,
the old piece of junk is actually valuable if we can take the time to activate it
Yeah.
or figure
right.
out how to activate it.
I mean, we really don't have the skills amongst ourselves, but Aderon probably would pursue some more. Well, that's something that Aderon would be looking for, is trying to figure out how can one find somebody capable of like fixing a gate from
Right.
the ancient times. Seems easy, right?
Yeah, should be fine.
So as for where to go, um, looking at the two roads that head west, there's the road to Waystone, and there is also the death-facing passage. And I don't think we want to go to the death-facing passage.
As long as you're going north, you're pretty good. As long as you're going away from the tower, you're pretty good. But yeah. So wherever you're going to go, do you want to get some? I mean, you have some odd fruit right now that is just sitting there. Do you want to get any more trade
I
goods while you're
I
here?
think it would indeed be a good idea to get some trade goods. Just checking to see our stash here.
And I think I misspoke. It is green month. It is not first month. First month is still
Is green month. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah, we need to buy some supplies. I think we should get 2 weeks. I think we should get 2 weeks worth of supplies.
You have
That's good.
6 sacks of
We
supplies.
have 6 sacks already, so let's buy another 6 sacks. They're 10 each.
There's also who we haven't really seen on screen much. There's Zerso the Greenlander and your ape accountant as well.
Yep. They're going to be joining us.
Okay. I was going to ask. You could also leave them behind to run the outpost slash.
That is true because we haven't really used them much.
Well,
Yeah.
except that they keep saving us in combat situations.
Every
But
once in a while, yeah.
Every once in a while.
Although
it does
now
make
I
sense
have the
that-
radiation gun, and that's really
Yes.
what. I mean,
Yeah.
I borrowed it. And that's what was really saving us.
Yeah.
Leaving them behind would save you some cost and supply. And
Well, I mean, we need
you have a little
someone
bit.
has to stay behind to keep running his thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many people we have here who are not here who might be staying behind, whatever.
But that would be a good idea, just in terms of the making sense in terms of the story.
Yeah.
Is everyone behind that?
Yeah. So you faded out there for just a moment. So like the other NPCs that were with us, like former player characters that were traveling with us, we could leave some of them here, or
Yeah, so I think these are the last 2 NPCs, Zerso de Ust and Ananas.
oh, okay.
So yeah, we can totally leave them here to run that with Mook if you want.
I am okay. I am okay with doing that. That would give us the opportunity to possibly pick up other NPCs,
Yeah.
pick up other NPC hangers on in the future, because I mean they are interesting characters. They just haven't gotten a lot of spotlight. I don't think any of us have just really really like hooked into them or their stories. So I, the player, am perfectly fine with deciding that making them the offer that they can that they can run our Emporium and them along with Mook. I would be totally okay with that.
Yeah, cool. And pavilion. Cool. Yeah, so you can take those off of the. I'll just take them off here. Boom, soil twined. Blue. Great. So they're staying there. Um, cool. I don't think there's any of that. It's walking, so cool.
So I'm gonna. So yeah. So that means we're really only gonna need 3 sacks of supplies a week if there's only 3 of us traveling now. Well, we've got 4 carts.
You got plenty of carts and donkeys. Oh, we got three donkeys, one camel, four
I got my
carts.
Three
beetle
donkeys and a
horse.
camel.
You're
Oh
right.
yeah, and your horse and a pygmy llama.
Pygmy llama.
I've been tempted to throw experience into my beetle horse at some point, but it's hard because I want it. And I don't really know the game well enough to be like, what happens if I level up my beetle horse?
Yeah, and a
Well,
grotesque.
they get more hit. They get more hit points and they get another skill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same as a character.
Right. Now, if I wanted to level up the little poison golem, would that be a possibility?
Yeah, if you
Absolutely.
want to make him your pet. Yeah.
Of course, I think. So he was a level. Was he a level 2 guy? Level 2 character? Oh no! That was the
That's my
poisonous
toad.
toad.
The
Yes,
toad,
my
yeah.
toads are level 2. So if I mean, so how would that work if I have one of the, I mean, in theory, I was going to have one of the toads as a pet.
Yeah.
Um, how do I level up a toad?
Basically, you can spend some of your earned experience on your pet instead of yourself, and
Yeah.
then they get leveled up. It's just that if this one's already starting at level 2, so
Yeah. So they would start
I
off
think
with
I think
50 experience. I think
yep.
put that there.
Okay.
And they should have 12 life because
Boom. Cool. Fixed. Oh yeah, and yeah, I think
they should have they should have 2 skills at level 2.
I think the skills that they start with are
I mean, one is probably poison, but
it is loud is the skill that they start with. Cool. And if you want to reconcile your, looks like you have some cash reconciliation to do on your line 58 there.
Yeah, and that's actually already been done.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just make sure
that
to free up those item slots, or else they're going to be burdens because they're in the gray there.
yeah. So with items, those were let's see. These were things that were so the items were things that weigh a stone, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So if you've got things that weigh a soap, you can put multiple things on one line.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Up to because it's
a
10.
matter.
It's
Go ahead.
go on.
No, you didn't.
I was just going to say, it's a matter of it's 10 soap to a stone,
Mm-hmm. I think that's right.
10 stone to a sack, or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. So my difficulty is I have a bunch of little tiny things that don't fit easily in the spreadsheet.
The easiest thing to do, I think, would be to if you right click on it, you can insert a note and just like on the line, just say like a bunch of stuff, look at note, and then put the things in your note.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. And you said each of these like small items are stones?
Small items are a soap. SP.
Soap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
notes and sacks.
okay. And so basically I have the ability to carry 7 stones worth of stuff.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So the green brick takes 1 stone, the traveler's kit takes 1 stone, and then probably the extra sanguine pottery for actually I'm probably going to leave I might take it anyway, but the bat lion claws and the glass nettle stalks and the business card probably are just soaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about the golem takes up 1.
Yeah, and technically your toads also take up an item
Right.
as well.
Right. Now the pavilion. Well, I guess I'm not taking the pavilion
Yeah,
with
pavilion,
me.
that's just a thing that exists in the world. That's not your character.
Yeah, mostly I'm just using the space because I'm trying to get all of I have separate notes outside. Maybe I should just transfer them to my separate outside notes.
Oh yeah, and we can always add more lines for notes if we want to, if we need there.
Okay, yeah, I tend to collect a lot of stuff.
Let's do put more lines. There we go. And
Oh, okay.
made them fancy. Let's try to.
Yeah.
I need to step off camera for just a sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you bet. I'll reformat some cells here to take some weird lines off. Okay, cool.
Okay. Let me copy some of these things out because they're not. I mean, I do use the batline clause, but I don't know if because that's what I was using sort of as a dagger effect.
Right. Yeah.
Should that remain as an item or?
If you want to have it available, yeah, keep it as an item. If you have,
Okay.
yeah, the items are like things that are in hand. You can always like store a bunch of things in a sack,
Right.
put them in a bundle. But then, like, if you need them immediately, you have to take them out. And
Yeah. So let me pull out the glass nettle stalks. I definitely don't need to carry. I mean, I have used them before, but they don't need to be immediately available. Okay. Those there, and those are. So
And the other thing is, if you have a kit that is that does basically like quantum equipment
yeah,
that
and things.
you can declare what you have it when you're like, oh, I think I might have something like that, and you like open up your pack and you can pull out a
You're like,
thing,
oh, I need
and
a
then
shovel or a rope or whatever. Yeah.
okay.
and then you have that thing,
Mm.
to make and your yeah, you can have a thing that basically you can have a thing that weighs a soap.
Mhm.
I keep forgetting I have that traveler's kit that I've never used.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a traveler's kit. So is that one of the virtual kits that you're talking about?
Yeah, the traveler's kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a wizard's kit, but I decided to give it a UVG name, so I'm calling it the Psycho Resilient Magneto Satchel.
Nice.
Or
Yeah. And then basically
Nice.
just like you mark off uses as you
Yep.
use it.
Yeah, I've got like 10
Yeah.
items right now.
it's like in Dungeon World, adventuring gear, 5 uses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll make
That
Um,
blew
I am.
my mind the first time I saw that.
So I am going to leave my Voam garden at the
Nice.
pavilion
Nice.
in like as much protective arrangement as possible.
Yeah. Stash it in the back by the bones.
Yeah, I'll make a bone altar around it. That's probably a bad idea, come to think of it. Let's see. So pavilion comes off. I have a lot of stuff. Aderon is so let me see. At last. So,
So which way did you decide to go, or did you not yet?
I was going to suggest that we headed down to let me pull up the map. I think we should head toward Waystone, which is a 1 week journey. I don't know what's at Waystone, but I suppose we can find out.
Yeah. The Waystone Graveyard.
Waystone Graveyard. Oh, that just sounds lovely.
hmm.
So let's see here. So I'm gonna buy. Let's see here. We're gonna do. Let's see. We're gonna just rearrange. Let me rearrange some stuff here. 5 sack of odd fruit. 1 sack. Redo. So to buy Yeah, let's buy another 5 sacks of supplies.
Yeah. Okay. So the things that we have been partly training, do we need to leave them on the list or can we move them off the list?
They should be on the list until you are done training them. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Because
they'll be
I've
on.
got
Yeah.
two that I may never complete.
And I guess if you want to, I guess if you are never intending on finishing them, you could just like drop them in notes. Actually, yeah, because ones that aren't complete shouldn't really be on there if they're taking up space, right? Yeah, so just if there's something that you are training that's taking up space, feel free to drop that in a note or something because it's not going to take up space till it's an actual skill.
Right.
Oh
I mean, it's
yeah,
not a problem at the moment, but good.
one thing that happened last session, I did level up because I got a bunch of XP from carousing,
Oh yeah,
and I decided to take a level in advertising engineer
nice.
because I've been using that skill a lot.
You have been. You're now an expert. Ooh,
I'm
expert
now an
advertising,
expert.
expert wizard.
So expertful.
Oh, and take 2 hero dice up to your level if you don't have them.
Yeah.
Yep. Oops, hold on. Don't do that. What's going on?
You'd be at 3, 3, and 2.
Oh,
That's
what
good.
is that? That's not what I do. That's what I want to do right there. Hmm. What is a better pet? A tiny poison golem or a grotesque poisonous toad?
Um, you don't have to reload the toad.
That is true.
The toad generates its own poison.
Yeah.
Right,
You
right.
have the golem hang out at the outpost, and if anyone tries to steal the bones or whatever, yeah, they can be the bone detecting detection.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's
Security
not a,
system.
Yeah, security system. That's what.
okay. Then I will take the golem off the list and move them um somewhere else. Do. Um,
So while you're figuring that out, Phaedrid wants to basically. Yeah, we've got an empty cart now that um, I would like to try to buy some commodities that we can try to buy and sell.
Yeah. What kind of stuff are you looking for?
Something that I don't know, something that was in the maybe 500 a sack range.
Cool. Go ahead and make me. Do you want to spend? Yeah, great, great. Accept the price, automatic haggle roll. Would you like to haggle?
Yeah, I'll do some haggling.
Cool. Give me. It's gonna be charisma.
Charisma plus advertising.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
+6.
expert is +6. Okay, so I'm at +8 on this roll.
Not bad.
What you need, sir, is what I've got here in this bag.
I rolled a 9. Yeah, and I rolled a 9. So
9 +8 is
+8 is
17.
the 17.
Cool, 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 cool. And you're looking for something in the 500 range. Let me see what we have.
Yeah, I was looking for something in the 500 range.
Yeah. Let's see. That's a little bit bulky. It's yeah. Let's see. Um, hmm. Let's get you some. Interesting. Um, Ooh, Ooh, yeah. Okay. Let me dig that up. There we go. Um, yeah. I think one of the there's a satrap trader that has a bunch of old like old tech bubble helmets. Um, they have various technological improvements that aren't really available with modern technology. So yeah, he can get those. You can get those for about 0.2, 415 a sack.
415 a sack,
Yeah,
and its base price is 500.
yeah,
Sure, that sounds fair.
yeah.
Just do a quick calculation. Equals. I'd like to buy 6 sacks of those.
Cool. So that'll be
415 times
2,500 clear.
2,500.
Yeah.
Okay. 6.
So I have a question about something. So at the moment, I'm expert at fleshless clay.
Yeah.
And in the past, I have used some fleshless clay actions to improve my combat situation.
Hmm.
Specifically, I got a -1 or +1 for shifting my form during a dodge.
That's right.
My
Yeah.
question is, if I wanted to work on a specific like fighting skill of fighting as a flesh dancer, let's say, would that be a new skill or would that be something? How would
Um,
we do that?
Interesting because the way you can only add one trait or skill to a roll.
Yeah.
And if you want to like use your flesh's clay there, it's going to be better already. So you could add another skill for like a flesh dancer or something, which would be interesting. Um, I think as it stands, you can already do pretty much that with your flesh's clay, maybe.
Okay.
So we added one too. Yeah, so I think like if you took like flesh dancer, I think that would add like your +3 +6 instead of just like a +1 +2. Yeah, yeah. So that would probably be worth it if you wanted to play with that.
Okay. So that would be because I am very close to getting a level, and one of the things that Adoran has definitely ended up doing is trying to survive in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I just didn't know if it made more sense to because if I don't do it as something separate, my inclination might be to move Flesh's Clay up to whatever the next thing is,
Right.
Master.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it makes more sense to just do Mastery at Flesh's Clay or a separate.
I think if you do the mastery, I think that's going to do just as well as taking Flesh Dancer separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean in the future in combat I can use my Flesh's Clay as a modifier for
Yeah.
actions?
Yeah.
That will make me much more effective as a in hand-to-hand combat.
And guy.
I won't maybe just get eaten by bones next time. Also, the staff that was made from the bone spur problem,
Mhm.
is there a particular weapon that I can correlate that to if I want to use that as a
Yeah,
weapon?
gonna be like
Because I've got
that'll be like
deep.
a axe or like a 1d6 basically.
Okay,
Like a simple weapon.
yeah. Yep. Um, so I will do.
Alrighty. Anything else before we get on the road?
Nothing sane. I mean,
Great.
my desire to go visit the Green Tower still exists, but
You can still do that.
I know I'm pushing.
It'll be there, so you can always come back to it.
I'm
It'll
trying to hold
always
off
be
on
there.
death.
Um, uh, great. So let's first week back out. Here we go. Um,
Back on the road.
back on the road. Spend supplies, one for each. Go ahead.
I was just singing on the road again.
Okay. Yeah, take supplies there. Do. Who would like to do our misfortune roll?
I've already made a roll, so it should be someone else.
Moden, if you
Last
make that
misfortune roll. Okay, I'll do it again.
if you make that roll, you're gonna do it with +2 because wait, let me see what's your traveler skill?
It is expert now.
Oh, +4 then I think. Yeah. So it's gonna be -2, +4, +2 altogether. Because the weather's still not great, but you are a seasoned traveler, so you
Is it different because it's normally expert is +6 on rolls, right?
Yeah, it's a misfortune roll. Works a little different.
Gotcha. So D20.
Oh no, that's not true. Never mind. Yeah, no, you're +6 on that, so it's a +4 altogether. Yep.
Dig it. So plus D20 plus
The
4.
penalties are -2. The pluses are +3.
So D20 plus 4. How about a 21?
Ooh, 21. That will do you. Cool.
I am an expert traveler now. People, let me handle this. I'll tell you which way we need to go.
Cool. So on the road to the Waystone graveyard. This is a 1 week trip. Is that right?
Yep, 1 week trip. So says the map.
There
We're victims of an unfortunate money shower.
Yeah, so this Waystone is so called because it is a they love their obelisks out here. This is a mile high verdigris green obelisk, and I'll paste the picture of it for you here in El Chat. Yeah, so we got a giant green Waystone. This is the aforementioned Waystone, green monolith, a mile high, larger by far than the ignored tower from Last Sarai. It is clearly ancient. It is crumbling, but still stands after eons. And it kind of rises it is rising from the bedrock. You can see here because the weather here is awful. There's this kind of red, sharp gravel dust everywhere, getting blown around. You can tell like all the ground is scoured. It's taking its toll on the obelisk. And as you get closer, there are more and more like just destroyed and picked over, rusted out, completely smashed machines of various kinds, many from long ago, indeed. There's this constant dry rust storm that's partially from that, and just like swirls around that monolith. Around here, the violet haze that passes for night, basically like after the sun rises. There's the violet haze, and it lasts until 10 a.m. At this point. So as you go further west, the haze gets deeper still. And even after the haze rises, the light is still kind of like it's got a red tinge to it from this dust.
All the dust in the air. Got it.
Yeah. From this rusty dust. And so as you're traveling closer and closer, from the wreckage that is just scattered everywhere, and and being skilled travelers and scavengers, clearly there is some checking out to see if there's anything valuable within them. they've been picked over 1,000 times over. There's really nothing new to find from these fallen machines. But one day, as you're traveling, there is movement by the side of the road in the machines, and you can see that a some sort of like biomechanical something kind of like crawls, like emerges from the dust, and it's kind of like looking around to repair a machine, and it kind of clanks and trundles over and starts kind of like picking at this machine. Um, do you leave it alone or
I'm curious. Does this thing look like? Is this thing a Vohm? Is
it
it
is
some
not a
kind of?
Vohm. It is this a picture of that? Let's say this is a picture of that. Um, it's like a little like repair robot thing. This is probably oh no, that's a mech. That's not that robot. um, yeah, it's like a little like repair robot that is
Like a little
crawling out
repair
trying
bot?
to yeah, a little repair bot that's trying to like futilely repair whatever is
Yeah.
sitting there.
Aderon will walk right up to it.
Oh,
Yeah,
totally. I was gonna say same. I tend to be, with my a nice diplomatic face.
yeah. And it's kind of like a metal spine with kind of like these like claw leg, like a half a dozen claw legs, and then different little protuberances and cameras and tools and whatnot. And yeah, as you approach, it kind of like the it's still picking away, but the not a head, but the top part kind of like swivels around, and you see the lenses kind of contract and look at you, and in a it's got this voice it's kind of coming through this sort of like staticky low pass filter voice box, but it still has this like kind of like tinkling lightness to it almost. um and as I guess Vateron's going first. It just kind of approaches and says, I'm here to repair and upgrade. Do you require assistance?
I do.
You do. And so it kind of like scuttles over to you and does a couple circles around you. It says, yeah, interesting. Uh, Confirm upgrade.
I open my chest so my access panel is available. Then I open my access panel
Mhm.
and indicate I have suffered memory loss. Um, uh, what kinds of upgrades are available?
I am upgrade.
Confirm.
Confirm. Great. Can I get you to roll a couple of, or let me see. I'll roll this one. Great. Can I just get you to roll a d6 for me?
D6. Okay.
Yeah.
Aderon has very little fear. 3.
3. Great. So it is going to increase your endurance permanently by 1. And it is going to do that by scuttling up you and attaching itself to your front. So the description is it is bonded to you in a horrendously obvious way. And so basically you've got this like metal spine that has these like things dug into your front, and then the front of you has this like kind of I guess it's kind of like subsumed itself in front of you, but you've got this like front metal spine plate thing here.
Okay.
And that increases your endurance by 1.
Right.
I don't think that takes up a trait or a skill or a slot or anything. That's just a note on your appearance.
Okay.
Do you still have access to your innards
Nope.
in your panel?
I'm going to have to solve this in the future.
But yeah, so
That is a problem for future me.
that takes your endurance up to 2.
Yeah. I shall address this with Anise of Star.
uh, it did a repair on you. Good job.
It did, that's excellent. It just somewhat inconvenient that it went right over my access panel.
Um, yeah, no downsides though. Besides that,
Yep.
let me make some rolls then for some stuff here. Where are we?
There is one thing that Aderon would like to have been doing
Yeah.
as we travel through here.
Mhm.
This is a source of metal,
Yeah.
and metal is something that's a little bit harder for Aderon to get to maintain themselves.
Mhm.
So Aderon has been consuming metal.
Okay. Great. Great. I thought I had a random thing for this. I have to roll it like it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I'm just picturing Aderon like like yanking off like a piece of rusted metal and like taking a big bite out of it.
Yep.
Mostly steel with a hint of vanadium.
This is classic 2024. Actually, I wouldn't say 2024. I'd probably say 4,372,000.
um, as you're traveling, it is still so the month is green month. Travel is hard, cold, and wet. But in this area, there is no moisture at all. Pretty much as soon as you got within visual distance of the monolith, the wetness of the season just went to like bitter cold and very dry. And with the swirling dust storms, it feels kind of isolating almost. But you do see, not tracks, but that's a D6. Not tracks, but like, and I think Modon sees this first because of your expert traveler. Definitely signs that someone has passed recently. Maybe another caravan that took off from the Sarai a little bit before you did, or maybe someone going to the death facing passage. You never know. But it's definitely some sort of you wouldn't. It's not a caravan probably, but it is like a group of people traveling to do something, and that's about as much as you can tell from the tracks. You can try to track them down if you want to. You may run into them later on by chance, but someone else is out here with you.
I'm going to say if they're going in more or less the same direction we're intending to go, and like from Waystone, I was going to suggest we proceed to Fallen Umber. But I guess if we're at a destination, I guess we could try to figure out if there's like anything else that's interesting around here.
Mm-hmm. That's your encounters, though. If anyone needs to rest, I think you're all as rested as you can get from
I think we're all.
No extra days to tally. So yeah, so you arrive at the Waystone Tower. Close to the tower, the storm is it's not a storm, but the swirling of this rust dust is.
It seems to be mostly swirling around the monolith.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's hard to tell. Like, is this an aura from the monolith? Is this just a weird place? Is something else causing it? It's possibly not swirling around it like the monolith is causing, but maybe like it's the only like feature that's disrupting the air around here. But it makes it very difficult to rest here. Someone can do a discovery roll if you would like. There are definitely discoveries around here.
I would like to do a discovery roll. Is that just a straight D20 or?
50-20.
Well, let's see what we get. I got a 10,
10. Cool.
right down the middle.
That will get you some rumors. Would you like to spend a hero die to bump it up to an actual discovery?
Sure, why not? Um, that's add another 3 to that.
Another 3 to that. Great. Let's see there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me roll to see which one that's going to be. Of course. Great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Yeah. So there is I think at the monolith, there it looks like not a no one has camped there, but it looks like there is kind of a tradition of kind of like leaving notes for other caravans. And one of the uh, I think that you can see there are kind of like pieces of paper or like plastic parchment that have kind of been stuck to it or nailed to it that have almost all been ripped away by the winds. Someone had the bright idea of carving a stone and leaving it at the bottom. And it has a brief message that just says Mausoleum of Wire, 3 days, and then an arrow. So
Mausoleum of Wire?
Mausoleum of Wire.
That sounds very interesting.
Sounds interesting. We
So you can do
could
a
find
3-day
something
travel through
interesting there.
that, or
Yeah,
run.
I think we should check out the Mausoleum of Wire. We're on the road. We found a discovery. Let's go discover it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You can also market research is going to be difficult here, but because no,
There's no one to talk to, so
The Adiron would like to, if we are willing to take a day to build a better shelter for travelers' notes, because
mm,
the protocol, and Adiron feels very strongly that we should protect the protocol.
yeah, um, interesting. Um, are you all willing to do that?
To do what? What are we doing?
Hang out for an extra day to build a shelter.
Of course.
Great. I'll just mark an extra day there. Um, can I get a, let's see, what do we have here? I guess let's do a thought roll for you.
Okay.
Um,
Everybody or
would that be
um,
with Traveler?
if yeah, and if Aderon's doing it, you're skilled traveler. So a D20 plus 7, I think, is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I'm looking for a 15. That will
That
definitely
would
do
be
it.
25.
Yeah. 25. Yes. What does this shelter look like?
So it needs to be out of the way of the wind. So Adiron is uh, using whatever tools at hand to try and find some. I know there's bedrock here, so maybe coming up with some way to even remove some stones from the bedrock. Maybe there's some cracked places. Trying to basically create a small cache area.
Yeah. I think you're like the bedrock is tough to get. Like it is bedrock.
Yeah.
But I think you're able to cobble together enough like parts of junk that are around to kind of build like a slow like Berber style tent. Like
Okay.
it's low but wide to
Okay.
protect it from the winds. So you can definitely get in there.
And Adiron has a certain ability to dissolve metal, so I can
Mhm.
dissolve things and maybe recom like fuse them
Kind of like
together inside my body, which is
a
an
little,
uncomfortable
yeah,
concept, but still.
a little welding.
Yep.
Um,
Body welding.
yeah. So I'm gonna get Can I get both Phaedron and Modan to make aura rolls for me?
Aura rolls.
Aura rolls.
That is my good stat.
Add that. We had our RO2 roll.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I got a 13.
13.
I got a 20.
Fantastic. Cool. So a couple things while this is happening over the course of the day. You're able to rest in there if you would like to, but you don't need to rest right now. What are you two doing while Aderon is building the shelter?
I'm probably gonna honestly, I'm probably gonna help Aderon.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
I'm gonna help him build it.
Yeah, I figure we're all helping
You know,
out.
we're kind of all in this together. If this is something that was important to Aderon, it makes sense to like. It would make sense to like build a shelter here for him to come through.
Yeah. Cool. Phaedrid, as you are kind of like casting around for parts to add, especially as you get closer to the monolith, the these all just look like rusted, destroyed hunks of junk. But you swear out of the corner of your eye, you see some of them kind of twitching or shuddering when you come near. And if you go to check them out, they are long dead is not the right word, but they're long destroyed. But you can swear that like they are like something is moving when you approach that. Modan, however, as you approach the monolith, you get a sense, and maybe it's just like a daydream as you're because it's again like this dust storm is kind of isolating, and you're just kind of like focused on your task of collecting parts. So you get this kind of like almost like a daydream of these like synthetic stone kind of like crystal hallways that might be within or below the monolith. There's no entrances. This is just solid stone. But especially like the closer you get to it, the stronger this feeling is of like something not calling to you, but just sort of presenting the idea that like maybe there's something here.
Something here as in at the obelisk or just in the area, you mean?
Like within or below the obelisk. There is no entrance as far as you can tell. And you can keep that to yourself or share it as you like.
Oh no, I would definitely share it. I'd be like, do you guys feel this? This is what I'm feeling. A thing. Are y'all feeling this thing? I'm feeling a thing.
And I think after pointing it out, if you kind of concentrate on it or like imagine it, you do all get that feeling. Some stronger than others.
That there's like something below the monolith.
Yeah, or like I think the feeling is within, which is it is a mile high and hundreds of feet on any side. But the crystalline halls that you're seeing are much larger than anything that could fit inside. But that's the sense you get.
I mean, it could be a dimensional portal or something subterranean.
Maybe if we approached it, we could discern like an entrance if we actually went up to the thing. Or maybe it's extra dimensionally inside it, or maybe these are the crystal things below. There is some kind of underground complex.
Approach with goodness in your hearts.
What is goodness?
Benevolent intent. I think that's all you know. Just
I need to step off camera. I need to step off camera for just a moment. I'll be right back.
Yeah, actually, we're at the hour, so let's take 5.
Cool.
Come back at 10 after.
Wait, it's 8 after now.
15 after.
Okay, cool.
Clean that up and
Cool. Yeah, so we are looking at the base of the obelisk. Is that what we're saying?
All right.
Of the tower.
yes.
Um, yeah.
The
Yeah, go ahead.
so I'm wondering, Aderon has not uh really any what is it, aura, but I'm wondering if Aderon is picking up any chatter on the technological, like, near airwaves.
Not really, no. Yeah, it's pretty barren in that way.
Okay.
Um, I think so. There's no physical entrance that you can tell. It is solid um, stone, green stone coming from the bedrock. It is kind of like the it resembles like the central part of the Sarai or the Forgotten Tower, and that like is clearly either grew out of or somehow implanted in by something massive.
I,
Um,
I take it there's no like glyphs or anything that's carved in it or
Not
anything like
really,
that,
no. But
other than graffiti.
yeah, even that I think is like kind of blasted off by the sand, by the rust dust. Um, but with actually, Fader, let me get another aura roll and add your wizard to it as well.
I was gonna say, can we add wizard to this?
Yep, definitely.
Okay, aura, and I am an expert wizard, so I am at
Yeah,
plus 10 on this roll.
not bad.
I rolled an 8, so that is an 18.
18. Yeah. Um, so I think what you can, there's nothing to see for sure. Um, but you can definitely feel something going on here. There's there is some way to enter the monolith that does not in a physical way though. There's no physical entrance. The monolith is likely a solid crystal, but you you can feel that there is a way to enter somehow. You just can't quite get it yet.
Can I use a spell? I have
Sure.
a spell called Let the Door Open Itself.
Whew, all right. Yeah. You can also use a hero die to bump it up, and you
Oh,
might
I could.
get more information there, but you are also welcome to use that spell.
I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use some magic. I'm gonna use Let the Door Open Itself. Let me just read the spell description.
Yeah. Is that from
Um,
SDM? Or the
that was well.
Oh,
This
that
was a
was
bonus spell that I got. This is a bonus spell that the Lime Nomads taught me.
right. Yeah.
No, not the Lime Nomads. This is a bonus spell that I learned at Grass Colossus.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Because I went partying with them, and they like whoever I went partying with taught me something cool. Because I guess, and the answer to that is never say no to a party. Um, the wizard summons a fragment of consciousness into a target lock. Uh, Overjoyed, the tiny sentient object burbles at the edges of the wizard's mind, begging it to please. It unlocks or locks itself. Magical locks save with a bonus equal to their wizard's level. Overcharge it. If you overcharge the spell, the door or portal is flung open or sealed, welded, or fused shut. So I
Mhm.
want to open this, and um, I'm guessing that's going to need more than just a basic thing. So I think I'm going to overcharge the spell.
So tell me, this is the first time we've seen the spell, right?
Yep.
Or this power. Is this just like words and thoughts and gestures? Is this an item that you got from someone? What does this spell look like? How is it implemented?
Um, Oh, I like that. I hadn't really thought of object, but I like that idea. Um, it's a key. It's like a key. It's a large key.
Mhm.
Or I should say, it's not a key that you would like stick in a lock and open. It's a key that has been carved out of crystal, and
Mhm.
it looks like a key, but the way you kind of like reach into this thing with your mind and you pull out this magical key and you like put it into this door that you can then there's like you put it into a door that you can only conceive of in your mind and you turn it.
Fantastic. Um,
So I think so when we when we look at it from Phaedrad's perspective, he's looking at it and he's like charging this magic and uh you know bringing the spell to mind, and he's like imposing over, like he can actually see this phantom door that's before the thing he wants to open, and that's what he's putting the key into, this phantom door.
Amazing. Um, cool, cool. Here we go.
Oh, and it is a power one, so
So that's
it's what?
two
So
life.
it was 2 life, and I was going to overcharge it, so that was double. So that's going to cost 4 life.
Great. Let me take a look here. Great, great. That fantastic. That's good. That's good. Uh, that's all good. Great. Great. And I had that spell there. There it is. Overjoyed. There it is. Um, great. Cool. Go ahead and roll plus wizard.
Roll plus wizard. Well, I'm at +6 on this, so roll an 18 on the die.
Ooh, so that is a 24.
24.
Fantastic. Um, so um, yeah,
I
great.
just let out something terrible, didn't I?
Nope. So what um what Modan and um Aderon see, what does it look like when you are casting this spell on the monolith? Like where are you in physically implementing it?
We've walked pretty close. I mean, we're like close enough to touch. We've like
Yeah,
walked right up to it. We're
yeah,
like an
you
arm's
would
length
have to
away.
touch it, I think, to do this.
Yeah. So and so what you see is like, so before he casts the spell, Phaedrid says, I can tell there is a mystical entrance to this place, and I have just the spell for it.
Mhm.
Um, and I think he's got the key. I think he's been carrying this, been wearing this large key like a pendant around his neck.
Mhm.
So he takes the pendant off, and it's this crystal key. It's like it's probably a good like 3 inches long. It looks like it was hand carved. Um, and he's holding the key, and with his other hand he like almost like traces sigils in the air. Um, Reaches out and basically like with his other finger, like draws like what should be a door, like draws basically a rectangle in the air,
Mhm.
like about the size of a door. He then, again with the, with his hand up, like making some kind of like weird gesture. He then he then like moves forward into the air, puts the key into, and at that point you can almost see like this like image of a phantom door that suddenly appears in front of Phaedrid, and he
Mhm.
puts this key in the lock and turns it.
Fantastic. Um, so, Modan and Aderon, you do not see this door. What you see is Phaedrid doing his thing, and then his body collapses.
All right.
Phaedrid, what you see is the door opening, and you step through it. Um, and just like the visions, um, it is this glittering green, like calling them crystals is selling it short. These are like emerald, basically, like hallways carved from solid gemstone that seem to go on in every direction for as far as you can see. Um, the other two just see that your body, because you rolled so well, your body was not destroyed; it was just collapsed. But you have entered its synthstone and crystal halls.
So,
Modan,
Aderon
how do you
is,
react to this?
yeah,
We can't hear you.
Heath, we can't hear you.
You're muted somehow.
Oh, there I was.
There we
On
go.
the wrong thingy. Yeah, I figure since I knew he was doing some magic to try to find the entrance, I'm not totally alarmed because I'm like, well, maybe it's part of the spell. I mean, because we all kind of I definitely felt that, like, I think I felt also that there wasn't like a door, like a physical door. I mean,
Yeah.
so I kind of think that I'm hoping that maybe he just consciously went into this other universe or whatever. I'm kind of trying to figure out. I guess I'd probably consult that. I'm sort of be like, when do we panic, or how long do we wait? When do we know something's gone wrong?
I believe that Phaedrid has entered a uh,
Psychic place?
no, that's not what Aderon would say. No, I believe that Phaedrid has entered a maintenance state and is currently conducting business at a different level, conceivably speaking with the machine that is before us. I believe that our duty in this case is to protect Aderon's body, or to protect Phaedrid's body and make it comfortable.
This makes
I
sense.
shall do this. This is the first protocol. The second protocol is that I will make tea in the shelter. Would you like some tea?
Sure. Should we
Are
prop
you
him
going
up
to
in a chair or something?
drag his body back to the shelter?
Um, I'm going to see if moving him seems to cause his body distress, and if it does not, then I will drag it back to the shelter.
He is limp. Yeah.
And I will take out my green brick that has light and heat and stick it on his body.
Nice.
And I will make tea. And I will also put a little tea in I will start fashioning an iron cup while we're waiting because I want to leave an iron cup in the shelter for other travelers to share tea.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Cool, Phaedrid. What is your move here?
So there's like a whole bunch of corridors. Are they like is this like a maze of twisty corridors all alike?
It is like
Or
like vaulted ceilings, light, not sure where it's coming from. It is, both like crisp and ethereal at the same time.
Does it seem like I came through? I mean, is there an obvious entrance that I came through, or just did I just like pop into the middle of a hallway?
Yeah, like as you stepped in, like this is the place, and then as you look around, like there's not a doorway that you came through. I think from your corporate training from Onerix Unlimited, after a brief moment of disorientation and mild panic, maybe, this feels like some sort of noospheric space.
So I'm not physically here.
You're not physically here. I think you realize that.
Okay, so I am in so I'm in some kind of, so this isn't okay, interesting. So I think what I'll do is making careful note of like where I am and where these corridors go. I will walk down the corridor. I'll walk down, I'll like, pick a direction, walk down a corridor to I get to a junction,
Mhm.
and look to see if there's anything. Basically, I'm looking to see if there's any rooms or anything in here.
Yeah.
Or
Um,
is it? I mean, are these? I mean, it's just. I mean, if this appears to just be like an endless maze of corridors, then I'm going to try to get out of here.
yeah. And it's less like an endless maze than like a vast palace, kind of. Um, and it's not uniform. Like um, there are places that have alcoves and carvings and places to sit and rest. There are places that like open out onto this like vista that kind of is like a light upside down version of the bedrock plains that you're on. um it's beautiful. It There's not really anything to show the passage of time or if anyone else has passed here with you. um but yeah.
Is there any? I mean, as I'm going through the hallways, you said, are there carvings? Are there, is there like, is there like writing on the walls? Is
Yeah,
there
anything.
basically I'm looking for anything of interest that I could hopefully, not physically take with me, but if there's anything in here that I could, like try to memorize or take with me back once I
Yeah,
figure, assuming I can figure out how to return.
yeah. um let me get a thought roll from you, I think.
Does wizard come into play here, or is it just straight thought?
um I think it's just straight thought.
Straight thought. Okay, that would be a 20.
That is a 20. Great. Let me randomize that. um Perfect. Yeah, great. Let me roll a couple dice here. Let me get that one and that one. Great. Um, so I think after some wandering and some consideration, pondering, reading the things, this is definitely. I think the wandering tells you this is some kind of portal you uh, kind of stumbled into, um, and like I guess basically from the
Or this. I've gone through a portal. Am I in some kind of like liminal space that would connect where we were to where we're going to go to where it would go, but I have no
yeah.
idea where it's going.
Yeah, from your oneric training from your job, this is what is known as a dullway portal. um,
A dullway portal.
a dullway portal. Basically, it is a portal that will take you from one place to another, but instead of just being like a door to that place, you still have to travel the distance between this place and the other place. It is safe and uneventful, but if it is a portal to somewhere a month travel away, you're still traveling for a month. There's just nothing to see. You don't know where it goes, but you know that if you keep walking, you will get somewhere. You don't know if it is a week away or a month away or 6 months away. But this is a portal to somewhere.
This is a portal to somewhere, but I don't know where, and there's no indication of where it's going.
Yeah,
And this is the sort of thing that could take a day. It could take 6 months to get where I'm going.
yeah, it's safe. There's definitely no danger in here, but aside from boredom.
Right, right. And aside from the fact that, like, who knows, like, if I'm not here, what's my body like? What's happened to my body?
Yeah, yeah. And how do you reincorporate on the way out?
That is a good question. Yeah, I suppose that I'm guessing that once I get to the other side and exit, once I get to the other side and find the exit, is this sort of thing like, would my body just like reappear there, or
Way to
do I
find
not know?
one way to find out. But knowing that this is a portal, and not just a mind trap of some kind, you know that there must be a way to exit, both on the far side and on this side. Um, Let me get another
What?
thought. Just to
Another thought roll?
yeah,
Okay.
to see.
Again, wizard doesn't come into play here.
Yeah, I think this is just plain old because this is just tech. Yeah,
Okay, well that's an 18.
an 18,
Doing
great.
well here.
Yeah. Again, it's difficult to judge time in here, but you are eventually able to find the place where you entered. What marks the place where you entered that you can tell that this is someplace different, like not just overwhelmed by the crystal
Got it.
palace that you're in.
Yeah, so I found the place where I entered is
Yeah,
what you said. Okay.
we'll
So
take
I
the
think
mark that this is the exit.
yeah, so I think when well I did say when he first arrived there, he did want to like examine like where he was looking to see if there was like a way to go through immediately,
Mhm.
and he made note of like he made note of like the distance to the various side passages, and maybe there was some kind of like difference of like subtle, like not immediately obvious, but there was like some subtle difference that
Mm.
that did mark it, like kind of like the just the vaguest
Yeah.
hint of an entrance to an alcove.
Yeah, like one of the archways, although it looks like a distant hall, like it, you can tell like if you pass through it with intention, you will exit.
Can
Okay,
I offer a possible suggestion, which is very interesting? It actually comes from a different game system,
Yeah, yeah.
please.
is that every wizard has some telltale. It might be a flower falls, it
Mm,
might be a smell in the air. It's a wizard signature. They're
right.
not necessarily physical, but maybe the place you came from has your wizard signature at it.
Mm,
And then the question is, what is your wizard signature?
Ooh, that's interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting. I was initially thinking that this was like I was initially thinking that this was a marker of the portal itself,
Yeah.
but
It can be both for sure. Like you leave something of yourself as you come through it.
yeah, I like that idea. I think there's simply a psychic impression
Hmm. Hmm.
um, that this is the portal, but I can tell that I've come through. I can just like magically sense that I've come through here.
Yeah, yeah. And you sense that you can exit if you just walked through normally, if wandering around, there would be nothing would happen. But if you walk through with intent, you would exit.
I think I am going to walk through with intent to exit this portal
Mhm.
from where I entered.
Great, great. Um, Sweet. While all that is happening, um,
I was
yeah,
going to say, I think subjectively, I think Phaedra would have like probably spent a few hours doing this.
at least, yeah, yeah, for sure.
You know,
Um, Back outside, I think the mists have fallen, and then a while after the night has fallen, um, and Phaedron's like his body is he's not dead, but it's also not breathing. There's no heartbeat. It's just kind of like in a resting state. Um, and you hear in the distance um, some like clanking noises, very distant off, like a like from the distance you are hearing it. It's almost like someone like kind of like dragging strings of tin cans. um, and it kind of ebbs and flows, and eventually like snippets of someone talking come through a little bit, someone shouting maybe. um, it's difficult to tell what direction it is. um, I think if you go out, you can probably see some lights on the horizon to the west. Um, but assuming you're kind of like you're in your little Berber tent, um, I don't think your position is evident to anyone or anything that's out there. Um, you could probably go investigate. They seem to be a ways away, whatever it is. But there's someone or something else out here with you. Do either of you want to do something about that, or just sit tight until Phaedrid comes back?
I want to stay with Phaedrid. I could go and assess.
Very well. That seems like a pleasing thought.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and you can pass the night easily. Phaedrid's state doesn't change. It doesn't seem to be getting better or worse. And I think it is probably well into morning after the haze has lifted, maybe almost until noon, that Phaedrid, kind of blinks his eyes and takes his first breath in over 12 hours, and sort of comes back.
Oh,
And I think there's like a little coating of dust and rust and grime on you, maybe like
Uh,
in your
and
side.
a warm green brick on his chest.
Yep, but you're warm.
and I think Phaedrid's like, I think he goes, "Wah!" and he sits up very suddenly. Oh, well, that was interesting.
Did you achieve completion of your process?
Completion of my process. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Aderon, but that thing is a portal.
Oh,
I entered it psychically. Um, it's a out of character dull space
Dullway.
dull it's a dullway portal. Um, you enter it and it's perfectly safe. You can travel to where it leads, but it takes as much time to go there as it would to go there. Whether or not that's a there you could actually travel to on the world, I'm actually not sure. I explored it for a little while. I tried to discern where it would be leading, and there's not much in there. It was beautiful, but let's just say it emphasizes the dull of the dull way. It was beautiful, but it was pretty boring. I did not encounter any other travelers. I did not encounter any other psychic presences. I didn't encounter any like writing or information. It was absolutely stunningly beautiful, but I don't know where it leads, and I don't know how long it would have taken me to get there. And I'm honestly not sure how one would have exited it, considering that my body was on this side.
And I think there is an effect coming out of it. I think you are going to take a burden of nauseated. It'll go away by itself after a while. But like it's definitely it didn't feel good coming back. I think your body
Got it.
your body was safe, but not
Got it. I'm going to
digested.
say. I'm going to say.
Like portal sickness is basically what it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I was going to say yeah, I was going to say like psycho portal sickness.
Yeah, and this is I think this is a known effect of some portals. It's not unusual. It's relatively mild as far as portal sickness goes.
I have a question because it seems that when one finds an opportunity, it is best to take it. I have some doubt about my own ability to successfully navigate such a portal, and Aderon rummages around inside of himself and themselves and comes up with some pastries. I do have some, one moment. Where is that? Yellow brain shoe pastries, which help with noosphere work. If you and Modan would like to travel to find the completion of this journey, I will sit with the rest of the caravan and make iron teacups.
I thought I left to go investigate the clanking.
Oh, I thought you were staying with Phaedra. Sorry.
No, I was
Okay.
telling Aderon to stay with Phaedra.
Oh.
I went to go
Oh,
assist.
I
okay.
also misunderstood that.
Okay,
Sorry.
cool. I did not
Well,
hear.
actually, I thought that what Moden, like, I thought what Moden's saying now was correct, but then nothing happened, so I was like, okay.
No, I was
I
thinking
thought-
I would go assess it while you stayed vigil over his body.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we can totally wreck on that and make that happen. Let's get from you a this is gonna be an agility test.
For me?
Yeah, for Modan. If you're going to investigate,
Yeah.
it'll be a just looking for an 11.
Anything apply or just straight up?
Agility, whatever your agility is.
All right. I mean, I didn't know if my
What
skills
about-
apply.
Oh, you know what? Your traveler. I think your traveler will apply there too. So yeah, plus
Cool.
7.
26.
Fantastic. You did it. Good job.
I agilely dance through the sands.
So you're able to scuttle up to this. They're about at your speed, like an hour and a half probably away through through the junk piles. As you get closer, you can tell that it is a camp of travelers. You can hear it's probably died down a little bit by now, but you can definitely hear it sounds like they're having a good time. Not necessarily like a full-blown party, but a hearty campfire with a conversation going around. And you can get close enough to see that there is a dwarf there who is just a small person. Definitely a Redlander. You can tell by his accent and attitude. There is a polybody prince, 3 of them there, with golden masks, and a pair of other Redlanders who appear to be twins, who are sitting in front of the traveling suits that they've taken off, which are pretty cool looking, like biomech, like almost like powered armor kind of. But they're all and there are another half dozen kind of porters, and they would be the NPCs in their party, basically, kind of like helping out with camp and stuff there. So like a 10 or so people all together, and they are just kind of chilling by the campfire, having their evening. Like, this is what you would be doing as you're kind of chilling out. They haven't made a shelter or anything, so they're just kind of like hoping for the best against the storm. But yeah, is there anything you would like to do about that?
The only thing I think I would, just before approaching, I kind of assess to see if I hear any conversation, just to see if it just seems like normal conversation and nothing crazy, like, yeah, and then we'll kill any travelers we come apart, steal their stuff.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
so
but
no red flags.
Yeah, no, it's just like, oh, we traveled here, we went there, we're resting now. Yeah, nothing of note, nothing of concern, nothing
But
concern.
I think I would approach openly, very much wanting to be seen and not like I'm sneaking up on them or anything.
Yeah.
Hello, travelers.
Let me get a where's my reaction roll? There they are. Yeah, let me get well, you're gonna be rolling with where is your sheet here? It's gonna be charisma, and it's gonna be pleasant and or friends, whatever you like. Yeah.
Yeah, either one.
Oh, pleasant, yeah, pleasant.
They're both 3s anyway. So.
Yeah. So that's a +4
+6 altogether.
5 altogether.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, 3 for charisma and 3 for pleasant, right?
This is a reaction roll, so it's gonna be +2 for your pleasant.
Oh, that's right, because it's not. That's right, it's different.
Yeah.
Duh. Then a skill thing. What did we just say? So that's plus what?
You have 3 charisma, so plus
Yeah,
5.
so 5 plus 5 total.
Yeah.
9.
Woohoo! All
I had
right.
to roll something bad sooner or later.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I've been doing so well till now. In
Great.
rolling
Not
department.
terrible though. I think the twins definitely they have reached for some sort of weapon. They have not pulled it yet, but they are kind of like backing a little bit away towards where their suits are. The polybody, like all 3 faces, just turn towards you, and the dwarf stands up and says, "Who's this?"
I'm Modan Fig, grower of beans.
Beans. There's no beans out here.
No, I'm not looking for beans. I supply beans to various places. So it's still a venture I have going on. It's food, it's delicious, but that's beside the point.
Let's see them.
Oh, I don't have beans on me. I have a bean empire, a route, and going between cities and delivering beans to and fro those who purchase beans.
Bean Empire.
Yes, yes.
Where's this Bean Empire?
Well, I grew up on a farm in the Purple Lands, I think. I always forget where I'm from.
Yeah, you're northwest Violet Lands. Yeah.
And then started a business in the Sarai, and it's just now getting going. So the first caravan should be going to the farm and getting beans now and delivering to cities.
And what do you want with us?
Oh, I was just saying a hail and hearty hello, didn't expect to come upon anyone else out here. My comrades and I were camped nearby, and we heard the noise, so I thought I should come check it out and make sure it wasn't any kind of Vohm threat or anything we needed to worry about. And I saw you all.
I think the princes visibly bristle when you say Vohms. But yeah, I say, how many are you traveling with? How many are you traveling?
There's 2 others.
Just the 2?
Wait, is that right? Yeah, just 2. I'm thinking. Yes, there is 2 of us, right? Yes.
Well,
Oh, yes, the 3 of us. And
are you looking for a handout?
no, not at all. I just wanted to say hello, and in case since I heard you, in case you heard or saw us, I wanted you just to know who we were and that we were not hostile and we're no threat or anything like that. We're just fellow travelers.
What's your name?
Modan Fig.
Laszlo Montagu IV.
Are you guys staying for the night? Do you have a shelter? We have a shelter back there if you guys wanted to join us.
We're accustomed to sleeping in the rough.
Ah, fair. There's a certain charm to that as well, under the stars.
Have you been following us?
No, as I said, first I knew of you was when I came upon you just now after following the noise. Merely wanted to make sure that we were in no danger, that's all. And then obviously I saw you all just having a good time, as we do when we camp, and then everything seemed fine. So again, just wanted to introduce myself, being as didn't want you to come upon us and worry that maybe we were a threat or looking to sneak up on you or anything.
We'll keep an eye out for you then.
Fair enough. Well, good travels to you then.
Where's your camp?
Whatever, I tell him whatever.
Yeah, it's like pointing in that direction.
Yeah, back that way, about this far.
And he one of the not servants, but the people who are traveling with the caravan, he brings them over and whispers to them, and they're like, cool. All right. Well, have a good night.
And you as well. Again, I just know that out here in the wilds, a lot of times it's safer in numbers. Just wanted to make the offer that if you wanted to corral in one location, you are welcome.
We've got the numbers. Thank you.
Oh, yes, fair.
Yeah, and you can just as you're talking, this is a very well provisioned party. They have more than enough supplies to last them for a while. All of their gear seems to be in pretty good condition. Their porters and whatnot seem healthy and satisfied. Yeah.
Where you headed? Just in case we didn't know if we might bump into each other again or not.
Do you know the dragon also rises?
I don't think I do I?
No.
I do not.
We're looking for its tomb.
Ah, sounds wonderful. I love adventure. That's why I'm a traveler.
And you're not following us.
We are not, sir.
Well, once we find it, we're going to loot it and take it back to the Violet City and sell it for quite a bit. So,
well, best of luck to you. And maybe meet again, hopefully in ever-growing prosperity.
and you're only out here to sell beans? And kind of like looks around at the wasteland that you're in.
No, that's just that's just a venture. I come from beans, so I thought I'd bring the glory of the bean to my travels. But I'm really a traveler for the sake of the travel itself, and for the experiences and the sights we see and the people we meet along the way. That's really the reason I made it. The beans are more, we all have bills to pay and have to, earn our keep. So setting up a nice little bean route is a way of financing the travels, I suppose.
Well met. Good evening to you.
If you ever want to try beans, ask around the city, and hopefully I'll have expanded there by the time you get there.
Will do.
Delicious. Good night.
Yep, and they let you leave, and you're
I'll fill.
I think as you if you look back as you leave, like the guy he was whispering to is kind of like on the edge of the camp, like with binoculars or whatever passive for that, like just making sure that you're going. He's kind of like watching out for you, but yeah.
And I go very obviously. I'm obviously also trying to check over my shoulder, make sure like nobody's following or aiming a rifle at me or anything.
Yeah, no, they're not a threat, but they're just suspicious.
Can't imagine why.
Cool.
Everybody you meet in your travels is so forthcoming and not foam in disguise.
Yeah, but otherwise, the night passes without incident, and Vader returns as discussed. Great. And so it is morning. What would you like to do? Do you want to check out that discovery? Do you want to travel to a new destination?
Well, as Adoran was saying, he has some yellow brain shoe pastry, which makes noospheric activities easier. If the two of you would like to check out this path while I wait with the caravan.
I'm honestly not sure I want to go back, to be honest, and I'm also not sure bringing someone with me is possible using the means I entered. I suppose I could try to, because I thought I was opening a way that all three of us could enter, but obviously
I think
it wasn't the kind of portal that I was expecting.
I think knowing what you know, because you rolled so well, I think think you could make that work for everybody, including.
Okay, I could bring us all through if I wanted to. It's
just
that
your bodies would be lying at the base of the obelisk.
Yeah, that would be bad
for an indeterminate period of time.
Yeah, just for a few months. Who knows?
I mean, I'm definitely very intrigued, but obviously the downsides, I'm not sure how to get around.
So, I mean, that was one reason why Adoran was willing to just stay and watch over things.
Yes, I'm now seeing the value of having some NPCs around.
Yep, that's when we let them go. I mean, we've got a poisonous toad who could protect us, but
notably, also, you are not going to be bringing any trade goods or anything through.
Yeah,
supplies.
Yeah, and who knows what we'd be on the other side. I mean, how would we I mean, would we be reincorporating into like, I don't know, like robot bodies or something like that?
There does seem to be hmm,
I think
too
this
many
passage
unknowns.
I think this deserves more research later. Maybe on the way back.
Maybe on the way back.
Maybe if we make some arrangements and have some people to be bodyguards, and they still don't
Quite
know how to take
literally.
still don't know how to take supplies psychically with us. Do we need supplies psychically? Some
Yes, that is
questions.
a very good. These are all very good questions I do not have answers to. So I suggest let's what was the name of that discovery that we found?
The that was the Mausoleum of Wire, I believe.
The
The
Mausoleum of
other, yeah,
Wire.
Mausoleum of Wires.
Yes.
That sounds
Um,
intriguing. Why don't we go check that out?
hold on one moment. Adoran's going to suggest that even if we don't take the journey through that portal, it might be good for Adoran and Modan if you can guide us into it so we can see what it looks like, so we can have, because Adoran's got virtually no experience with anything noospheric, and Adoran would like to at least see what that looks like.
Oh, so you want to
With the
actually?
noosphere.
So you'd
Just
like to
with
at
the noosphere.
least, so you'd like to at least go, at least like enter into the portal to see what it is like. Now that Phaedrid knows how to enter it and knows how to exit it.
Do we know? I mean, I guess we could by talking to Phaedrid. Was his time in there equal to the time we were? Was it the same inside and
Yes.
outside?
Yeah. Yeah.
Time was
Okay.
passing 1 to 1.
Right.
That's sort of that's sort of nature of a
Dull way.
Dull way.
that's the nature of a dull way,
Yep.
and it's beautiful, but it's pretty dull.
Also note that your body remained because you rolled very well.
Mhm.
Got it.
So maybe
Um, and yes, and there was definitely difficulty entering and difficulty exiting, and I'm not 100% sure I'd be able to duplicate that feat. I might suggest that, tempting though it is, I would prefer not. I would prefer not to re-enter. I would prefer not to re-enter the monolith.
As much as I love adventure, I don't think I'm quite ready to gamble my earthly body just yet.
very well.
That did not turn out the way I expected. I'm glad it turned out as well as it did. It could have gone a lot worse.
Yes, it could have.
Yes, sometimes when you enter such portals, it's full of very hostile entities.
Yeah. The Hellgates, I think, is what they're called.
Yes.
There's a portal table to roll on. I think that is one of them.
Yep, Hellgate is one where it brings you to someplace you really
Yep.
don't want to be.
Oh, or soul mills that are not portals but refineries. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. You got lucky.
Adrid,
Yes.
do you think that this might be a pathway to a clientele of ghosts that you could sell to?
Mm.
Frankly, that idea crossed my mind, and if I was able to find the entrance quickly, I perhaps would have done that. But after poking around these endless and, well, not endless, but these monotonous and repeating corridors, and out of character, I'm kind of at this point I'm kind of thinking like I'm kind of thinking like the back rooms, but
Yeah,
with
a little bit. Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking the back rooms,
Like
but
the back rooms of Emerald City. Yeah.
but yeah, exactly, the back rooms, but Emerald City. Um,
Or Asgard. Yeah.
yeah.
It would seem then that perhaps we should in the future arrange a proper party to explore this.
At some point in the future, that might be a worthwhile endeavor. I don't think we're quite equipped for it at this time. So again, making a note of it. If and when I return to Violet City, I will certainly make a report of it to. I'll certainly make a report of it to the company I represent. But in the meantime, I think we should perhaps let it be for now.
Oh yeah, and Phaedra would take 100 experience for getting in and getting out of there.
Ooh, okay. I'll take 100
Exploration
experience.
definitely did happen there.
I will definitely take that.
In fact, everyone take 100 experience for that. I think that was a group effort.
Let us check out this. In that case, maybe let's check out this mausoleum.
Cool. Sweet. So that is a 3-day travel. I'm gonna mark that down for you. Great. Cool. So this this blasted land leads you which way did I say it was? I think this is due south. I've noted it on my map. Where's my map? Yeah, this is due south. And it kind of it's going towards the foothills of the distance mountains a little bit. The storm is not as strong out here, but is still pretty desolate. And after 3 days of travel, you arrive at what must be this place. It's a long slab of cliff face, hundreds of meters long, probably about 20 meters high, and the rust dust has kind of like it is polished. It looks like like a memorial wall is polished of like marble or like that. And there are thousands of small little niches carved into it. The ones definitely within arm's reach, and within feet to meters, 3 or 4 meters from the ground are all empty. And likewise, you can kind of see like people have clearly done the same thing from the top, like gone around and a meter or two downwards are empty. But you can see that there are they look kind of crystal or metal or something's kind of not sticking out, but like there are things in these small niches. And they're like a foot across or so, give or take, a foot or two across. You can probably easily reach some of them by climbing, or going around and lowering yourself, or finding another way to get up there.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
This is an extended use of precious clay. So I have my staff, which was made from a crystalline part of my body.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Is it possible that I can tinker with that staff using my body processes to give it like climbing hooks or something? In other words,
I think you can use it as a hook to climb with.
Okay.
Do you wish to climb?
Sure.
Let's get an agility roll from you, and we can add you're expert at that now, right? Yeah. So agility plus your flesh is clay.
Okay.
Is it possible that we could, like, I don't know, set up some of the tarps and stuff we have just in case, like as a cushion?
You take whatever procedures or whatever precautions you like.
Okay, so 1 plus
7, I think.
Yeah, so 7. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and this is going to be a relatively easy target. So, Yeah,
Nice.
So 20 total.
perfect. Yeah, you're able to climb up pretty easily. In fact, just using them as like handholds, I think it makes it a pretty simple climb. And so you get you know, 4 5 meters up, and these are little nooks with what they look like metal shoes, kind of encased in crystal. Um, but when you take a closer look, you can see that they're actually like feet that have been like wrapped with wire and have some sort of like mechanisms or clockwork or something embedded in them. But they're definitely human feet that have been enhanced somehow and then encased in crystal, um, and then left in these. Um,
So
and there
are
are
these
lots of them.
right? Are these feet like toe up, flat out, as if they were stuck in a pod?
They are soul out,
Yeah.
soul facing out.
So Aderon's going to see if they can find some sort of mechanism in the space that might um uh cause the pod to open, because this is somewhat similar to being this is bringing up some vague memories of being that born.
Mm. Oh, so just to clarify, like these are like little nooks like carved out of the wall, and these are just
Okay.
like like they almost look like feet covered in rock candy, kind of.
Okay. So somebody has encased the feet, and so but there's no extension, like the feet don't connect to legs and further
No,
on.
There's no body. Okay, so
there's
it's
no
not a
body. They're
body. It's
just
not a
feet.
body that's been stuffed. It's not a body that's been stuffed, and the feet are sticking out. It's
Yeah, no,
just
it's
feet.
like slightly larger than shoebox size, with just a couple
Okay.
in them.
Um, then Aderon will try to see if there's a way to bring um like loosen the feet whole to bring down pair of feet
Yeah,
whole.
yeah. I mean, they're just sitting in there, just like
Oh, okay. They're
placed on a
just
certain
sitting
shelf.
almost like, okay, so it's more like the nook is not connected to the feet. They're just sitting
Yeah,
in the
they're
nook.
just like openings that they've been placed into, and there are
Okay.
lots of them. Yeah,
Right.
And they're all feet.
Oh.
Like all the nukes are filled
all
with
the nooks are
feet.
filled with these crystal encrusted, wire wrapped feet.
Hmm. I feel like this is a burial place.
Or an esoteric shoe store.
So Aderon will bring out one of these, note which nook it's coming from, and actually Aderon will just sort of try and reach down and lower it to either Phaedra or Modon.
Mhm.
And I'll just stay up here in case we decide to put it back for some reason.
Yeah, bare feet.
Feet encased in crystal.
Yep.
Can
With
we
wire.
tell, upon further examination, if it's just like almost like a sculpture, or like if it seems to be like actual feet encrusted?
Seems to be actual feet.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they're
Like
they're like
severed, or
yeah,
I mean,
cleanly severed, like almost
like
surgically, and they are
surgical
all
precision.
yeah, all of them are enhanced somehow with some sort of mechanical things on them. They're all different.
So they're all kind of like been biomechanically enhanced.
Yeah, and then removed and placed here.
Interesting.
Who would be the most likely person to be like watching out for other people or other things?
I think Favorite is fascinated by this foot that Aderon handed down. So he's like, checking it out and is trying to.
Great.
Yeah, I think
Modan,
I'm probably
yeah, Modan, just roll me a d6.
any modifiers or just straight up D6.
Just straight up d6.
6.
6. Great. Um, I think as you are, just kind of keeping your head on a swivel a little bit. Um, I think you see that there are tracks nearby, and especially your traveler skill. I think it adds to this. You do see that there are track like someone has been here recently.
Mhm.
Um, they are some of them are like regular boot prints. Some of them look like bear, like giant paw prints in the dust that could just kind of like wander around.
Hmm. Can
But no sign of anything or anyone
is there any way to tell like how fresh they are?
within the last day or two.
Did you say they were all big, or is it just one set of prints?
Just one set, just one set. I mean, it looks like whoever or whatever it was like it is the same pair of boots.
Hmm.
Um, and ostensibly the same bear. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's multiple people. It looks like there's one person kind of walking around everywhere.
Wearing boots, you said.
Mhm.
And what is bear like about them?
Oh, no, there are separate tracks, like
Oh,
as if it was a
separate.
person and a bear
Oh, gotcha.
at different times.
Huh.
Yeah, but no sight of anyone or anything. Just your keen tracking senses.
I'll just continue to keep an eye out, ever vigilant.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, other than that, like that's this is what's here. What would you like to do with all these feet?
What you gonna do with all those feet in your trunk?
I think Phaedrid examining them, um, I can tell that they are. I mean, they are human feet encased in crystals, with some mechanical stuff on them. They're probably worth a little bit of money to somebody. um, if you want to carry a bunch around of feet around a bunch of feet.
Probably not worth stealing potential graves for a little bit of cash.
Yeah, it was called the Mausoleum of Wire.
True.
So
True. Of
Can we
wire.
identify like is it something obvious like there might be Redlanders or Bluelanders or it,
they're of all different hues, like skin tone wise. There's nothing kind of culturally signifying that they would be from anywhere. And they seem to not like long ago or long ago, but they seem to be have been here for some time. And given that so many of them have been looted, like thousands of them have been looted from the easily reachable ones. It seems that I think you can kind of puzzle out that whoever placed them here, like
They're long gone.
are long gone. Yeah.
Nevertheless, I think I kind of go, hey, we should probably not be climbing on the reverent mausoleum that lots of people have looted. Um, there are tracks that someone has been here recently, and just it might not be a good look if someone were to happen to come up now and we were climbing on the mausoleum.
As much as I am profit motivated, I don't necessarily feel that great about stealing these. This is clearly some kind of religious or quasi-religious practice. Is Aderon still like up there?
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm going to pass the foot back up to you, and I'm going to ask you to please put it back where you found it.
I concur. So I put the foot back. Adron's going to spend a little bit of time looking at a couple of different ones just to compare them because Aderon is clear that there's a protocol going on here.
Mhm.
So Aderon would like to add that protocol into their new database.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think examining many of them, like they are again like of various sizes and shapes, but they're all human feet, all treated basically the same way. And I think it is clear that they have been placed here in some sort of ritual or religious purpose. Yeah.
Are there at all any symbols or writings anywhere, any indication?
No.
Okay.
I think Modan, you do like there's a speck, you know, on the not on the horizon, but like down the way along the cliff face, kind of like could be something moving, but they're a good ways away, like a kilometer away.
Yeah. There is somebody within sight, so best not be seen, but as looters.
Maybe it is time to return to our journey.
Agreed. So Aderon climbs down.
Um, do you want to move on, or do you want to remain
I don't.
around the monolith for a while?
So yeah. I guess the question is, yeah, it's a good question.
There are more
Um,
discoveries to be found at meta level. They would take an extra week to investigate, but there's
or we
lots
could,
to explore.
or we could move on. Our possible destinations. We could move to. We could head to South Facing Passage, or we could head down to Behemoth Shell.
Hmm. Or Fallen Umber.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. I was looking at Fallen Umber. Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could get. Yeah, yeah, we should get. So it's 3 weeks to South Facing Passage, or 1 week to Fallen Umber. I would suggest we head toward Fallen Umber, and unless folks are like thinks this place is cool and want to try to find more discoveries.
I
I'm not a
mean,
big fan of the like all these like metal machine skeletons, and I think I'm getting a little creeped out and want to move on. But
I feel like
I'm
any destination has lots of discoveries, so
Yeah.
we've done some discovering here. That we could move on and discover elsewhere.
let's move toward Fallen. Let's pack up and head toward Fallen Umber.
I agree.
Cool. And as you're leaving, I think Modan, you can like it faintly sounds like someone singing a sad song in the distance, but yeah, it's not. It's just something on the wind.
I mean, I do feel like I always want to approach fellow travelers, especially we all got to have each other's backs out here. And I know there's people who would do harm as well, but we have to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. What if it's someone in need of aid or someone friendly
Or just someone sad.
or just someone sad?
I concur. Shall we go introduce ourselves?
I would like to.
Sure.
Cool. Um, yeah, and so they are approaching from the west, I guess it would be. Um, and it is a single figure, and they are a ways away. They're not moving quickly. And as you get closer, you can definitely hear there is like singing coming from it. Um, but as you get closer, you do see that it is a bear.
Hmm.
It is walking on its hind legs, and it is like black bear sized, not like giant grizzly. Its fur is just completely covered in this sort of red dust as well. And you swear that it is the one singing.
Greetings. You have a beautiful, melancholy song.
I think it's yeah, and it probably I think it stops singing before it gets within like hollering range.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it kind of rears back and just sort of says, I think it like just like rears up and then kind of like sighs, just says, "Thank you."
Is there anything I and my friends can be of assistance with?
What could you assist me with?
What do you feel you need assistance with?
I'm content to wander.
Would you rather be left to wander alone, or shall we wander side by side for a bit?
It doesn't matter to me. Foolish people come here, myself included, I suppose.
Why is your presence here foolish?
I think it's a foolish place. And
Do you have any knowledge of the people who, well, did that? Like Phaedra just kind of like gestures toward the wall that has all the crystallized feet stuck into it. Do you have any knowledge of whoever did that?
the wall of souls?
Yes.
Someone long gone.
The Wall of Souls. A purposeful double meaning?
Or misinterpretation by foolish men.
Are you just a traveler in these parts, or do you reside here?
I don't reside anywhere, but I do wander these parts. There's no place for me anywhere, so I'm happy being here, far away from anyone except for the occasional looter or gawker.
Why do you say you do not belong?
Look at me.
We have encountered and conversed with far stranger creatures than you, my friend.
I find nothing disquieting about you. You're just a being like the rest of us.
You're a sentient creature. You're a sentient creature. We're having a civil conversation with you. Are you looking to
creature? Why wouldn't I be sentient?
Well, of course you are. You are a person with whom we are conversing. You're clearly not a beast that just is. You're clearly not a beast.
Or machine.
Are you looking for a change of scenery?
I've seen plenty. I've seen how men are. I prefer it out here.
Right.
I mean,
I was
can be
going to offer.
cool.
We were going. I glanced to my left and right. I said, "Well, if you're looking for different opportunities, we have a caravan, and we are, possibly hiring. But if you prefer life out here, we are certainly not going to object."
I've been driven away from enough places already.
Well, that is why we try to make it explicit that you are welcome in our caravan.
Yeah, but would you be welcome if I come with you is the question.
Well, that can be said of any of us, really. I mean, each one of us individually, I'm sure somebody would take issue with for some reason somewhere. Some people just have hatred in their heart.
Most do, I found.
Aderon pulls out a cup of tea and pours some cold tea and hands it to the bear.
Big paw. You're kind.
Phaedra says, "I'm called Phaedra. To whom are we? What shall we call you?"
My name is Ottokar.
It is good to meet you, sir.
It's good to meet you. Most do not speak with me for this long.
Their loss.
Perhaps.
Why? I find you intriguing, majestic even. Different. I love encountering life that is different from me. We can learn from each other, I think.
Can I ask where? I'm guessing you're not from here originally. May I ask where you came from?
East, one of man's cities. It's been so long. Doesn't really matter which one, I imagine. They've probably
I've been.
fallen and risen again.
Hmm, Sounds like you have been around for a very long time.
It's difficult to keep track, but I imagine I have.
If you come from a place filled with your kind, or
There are none of my kind.
no? Just you, huh?
I feel like at this point he's like kind of plops down and like does the like bear sitting on his back legs with his like, sitting on his butt with his front legs out. Like he's he was not wary before, but now he's just like, I guess I'm sitting here talking to you for a while, so he's comfortable.
So Aderon sits down, and as Aderon sits down, Aderon's going to shape shift slightly to get more comfortable.
Mhm. Are you cursed as well?
Cursed? What is cursed?
Oh, you choose your form.
I was bat born, and my creation required that I have a flexible form.
Hmm.
Are you also flexible of form?
I imagine you could say that.
I mean, until recently we used to travel with a we until recently we used to travel with a gorilla.
Hmm.
He was our accountant. We left him behind to manage a side venture that we started.
Typical.
I believe that you have been judged by those whose goals have limited scope. Sorry about that. That's the dog. Um, and while I cannot guarantee that our goals are much superior, I can suggest that we are at least less tied to the the small rituals and protocols that many are tied to.
Um, if you are inviting him to join you, I think
I think we are.
yeah, let's have Modan do a roll because I think that's going to be um charisma plus charisma plus pleasant. So that'll be
That's pleasant.
yeah, and that'll be the plus three there. So plus 6.
5. Oh. Wait, charisma of 3, pleasant is +2, right?
Pleasant plus two for the reaction rolls. This is just like straight up you being pleasant, so it's plus 3 for the skill itself.
Oh, dig it.
Yeah.
So D20 +3.
Yeah, or plus 6 altogether because it's plus charisma is
It's charisma. Yeah, you got a 3 charisma, and
Right.
you're skilled at being pleasant, so that'll be 3 and 3 is 6.
yeah
Yeah.
So
So
D20 plus
instead of
6.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Oh, I
Yeah.
was confused.
yeah all these numbers
A 16.
16. Um, I think he kind of like stands up on all fours and kind of like shakes, and there's like these clouds of red dust coming off him. He says, "If what are your goals? Why do you travel this far out away from everything? I thought I was as far away as I could get from people."
Oh, we're traveling. We are traveling far to the west. Ultimately we are trying to get to the Black City.
Trying to make your dreams come true.
Well, I'll tell you there are many tales of the Black City, and I don't believe the half of them.
Uh,
I'm just curious to see what is actually there.
I've heard many tales as well, and no one who's
Perhaps,
said that they were going that
perhaps,
way, they've come back. So
perhaps it would be lucrative. And we're, trying to make our living on the way. Um, we are ultimately that is our destination. Um, on the way, we are basically a we are a we are a trade we are on the way we are traders. We are like, buying and selling commodities.
And we also
Additionally,
travel for the sake of traveling and experiencing people like yourself and lands and finding things like the mausoleum and the green spire and so
Yes,
much to discover.
I
we
can
are
see
in,
the
yes,
fire from here. Yes.
yes, we are indeed we are indeed exploring and seeing what is to be found, and what profit we can make from them, or what interest we can find. We call our company Triumph Ventures.
Triumph.
I would say that also we have separate goals, each of us, whether they be beans or profit, or in my case, my goal is good conversation that
Hmm.
leads to well-being.
Oh, that I can give you at least. I've wandered this dust for long enough, I suppose. I I warn you, your reception in the civilized lands of things have not changed may be cooler when I am with you.
Like I said, we used to travel. Like our accountant, we used to, like we left him to manage a side venture, but our accountant was a gorilla.
And I tend to have a pleasant way with people. I just
Yes.
made a deal with a cat.
Oh, I mean, they are fond of making deals. I hope you got the better end of it, unlikely as that might be.
Well, I hope that by traveling with us that you will find warmer receptions than you seem to have encountered in the past.
Oh, this fur keeps me warm enough through the winter, I suppose.
Mm.
Traveling somewhere as it warms will be good for me.
May,
Well, please.
may I ask you, do I have your permission to try to learn your shape?
Um, bear, yes.
So Aderon will make a first attempt at shifting into what would presumably be a smaller bear.
Mhm.
I'm sure that there will be lots of work to get it right, but Aderon is going to start practicing their bear form.
All those individual hairs. Oh,
Nice.
you muted. You got muted.
All my clothing is fake, so it's just made out of my flesh. I'm used to not that complexity, but I am used to some complexity.
Fantastic. Great. Let me add Ottokar to the caravan then.
We just hired someone. What was I saying? That we kind of need an NPC
Yeah, here you
that
go.
we trust? I'm stepping off camera for just a sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Now, Ottokar, watch our bodies while you go in this other realm. No, we're not gonna do that. Too much other danger.
Ottokar is bear, level 4 bear.
I like bears.
And as a bear can forage, so it doesn't really require supplies.
Oh, nice.
Look at right.
Is he in the tab, the NPC tab?
No, he's in the caravan.
Oh, in the caravan.
Yeah, line 28.
Ottokar.
Yeah, that was a tough sell, but you made it. So, um,
Like an Eeyore over here.
yeah, sad bear.
Sad bear. I'm a sad panda.
Great. Do you so you want to travel to Fallen Umber, it sounds like.
That sounded like the general consensus, which I'm fine with.
All right.
I'm a leaf on the wind.
Great. Cool. Let's do our traveling procedure then. Spend supplies.
So it's just so Ottokar does can forage and doesn't require supplies. Is that what you
Ottokar
said?
forges right now. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to
Ottokar
spend
berries.
3 supplies.
And a new person make a misfortune roll. And this is going to be at a -2.
So this probably should be Aderon. Um, is there anything that affects that?
Um,
I guess I can't just do them all since I have Traveler.
no, but Aderon does have Traveler, so that's
I
a
have
Oh, yeah,
Traveler
there you
too.
go.
+3. So just a +1 altogether.
Okay, +1. Okay.
Nice.
14.
14.
Ain't too bad.
Not too bad.
Cool. Yeah, so traveling, this is just a week's travel, right? To yeah, a week
Week's travel to Fallen Umber.
Yeah, so as you sort of lose sight of the Waystone, the step continues on. It is the sort of rust dust piles of junk are fall away from the obelisk, and step continues. It is pretty flat, pretty lifeless. It is pretty clearly a established caravan route. The route from the Sarai westward is well worn. It's so much so that it kind of like has worn the ground down to the bedrock. You're not in a canyon by stretch, but it's definitely like a gullies every once in a while as you go through the steps here. Um, and yeah, there are hills. There are places that were clearly once settlements, kind of carved out of crumbling living stone. And I think as you travel, Ottokar is it Ottokar. I'm gonna Ottokons from Metal Gear Solid. Snake. Ottokar. Ottokar kind of tells you tales of old Umber, that was once rich, a rich land, kind of trading on chitin cap carved from giant biomatter deposits that used to be here that have been long expended. There used to be an aristocracy here, but that was long ago. Not capital L-A long ago, but a long time ago. Um, but yeah, but now the place is just worn down, uh, dry and brown, picked over. The weather's pretty mild for the steps here. As you travel, the haze lifts even later. It's about 10:30 in the morning for the haze to lift after sunrise. But it's a very gentle rise and fall. It's very desolate, I guess, is the negative way of looking at it. It's quiet here, I guess. Um, this There's not a lot. There are old structures, old what might have been plantations or small villages, but they've long dried up and blown away. Let me roll for encounter stuff, if there are any. Great, great. There's that one. Oh my. Um, and it is surprising then, as you're kind of lulled into this, you know, ennui, I guess, as you're traveling for a week through here, that and you're used to seeing, abandoned buildings, crumbling stone clusters. Um, it is a surprise that around the corner of one of these Livingstone crumbled houses that is near to the road are maybe a dozen of these uh, looks like people in chitin armor, um, and they are kind of stumbling. It looks like um, it's so this chitin cap is kind of this sort of fungal. It's a common material for armor and shields and some weapons. But it's just like this fungal chitin plate kind of. And these are like full suits of old armor, it looks like. And they're kind of, they don't seem aggressive. They almost kind of just like bumble into you coming around the corner of this house. And the one in front kind of like puts its hands up, and the ones behind it kind of come to a stop, and its head just kind of tilts. And it is like face to face with whoever was in lead, whoever that might be. Since Aderon made the roll, maybe Aderon. And it's just kind of like,
Sure. Aderon stops with their staff, tips their head side to side, then bows.
and it's just kind of staring at you.
Do you
So,
seek assistance?
out of character, did you say these are like walking animated? Like what? Like who are these again?
It looks like people covered head to toe in this chitin armor.
People. Okay.
They are silent, however, and just kind of they look a little bit lost almost. Um, but there's about a dozen of them, and they don't seem to be aggressive. Um, but yeah, they're just kind of looking at you at this point. What would you like to do?
I'll 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 raise my hand in greeting and say, you know, hello, travelers. Are you from this region, or are you passing through?
And there's no response. They're just kind of silently standing there.
Aderon pulls out their cup of tea, pours a little bit of tea, offers some.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to want tea.
Puts it back. Actually drinks the tea.
I'm almost thinking that we're like standing here, like staring at each other, facing off.
Yep.
Do they eventually like wander off, or are they just going to wait for us to make the first move?
Yeah,
Or
I think I mean if you are not doing anything, I think after an awkwardly long time, they do kind of like it's kind of the one in front just makes that motion.
There is one thing before they go.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. Modan just goes with his gut. Um, he starts trying to sing the song he heard Ottokar singing.
Mm. Yeah, they don't respond to it.
Not fans of music.
There is I think to Modan's I don't know if it's suspicion, but assumption maybe, or Phaedrad's, um it does sound like as they stomp away or stumble away, they do sound hollow, as if they were animated armor.
they're animated suits of armor. There is nobody actually in them.
Yeah, and they just kind of they're not like marching in formation or anything. They seem like they do generally seem like they're kind of lost, stumbling around this like crumbling settlement, almost as if they have been here for who knows how long, just kind of without purpose, trying to find something.
Adrian, could these be customers?
I did try to communicate with them, and they did not seem to respond.
Yeah, they're
But
non-responsive.
the there's a difference between being a disembodied spirit and simply a magically animated thing. And
Wonder.
I think these fall into the latter camp.
Hmm.
These don't even rise to the I mean these don't even rise to the level of being a golem.
Chitin armor is cool though. I wonder if there's any unanimated chitin armor around.
You have not seen any.
Anybody want me to wear them?
Clatter, 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 clatter.
I mean, I suppose we could attack them, but that might damage the armor.
No, yeah.
True.
I wouldn't want to go that far.
And your radiation gun might simply disintegrate them.
Yeah, I think it would just melt them,
Yeah.
melt them down.
That'd be no good.
So Adoran wants to follow them for a little bit.
Yeah, and it seems like you can, however long you follow, they are just like stumbling around these buildings. There's it's not a huge settlement. There's maybe 10 or 20 buildings in various states of
Got it. So this is an abandoned settlement.
Crumbling,
and
built
got
out
it.
of wood and stone there.
And this was perhaps these were perhaps like some kind of like originally they were some kind of like magical guardians that
whoever left here or died here, they just like left them and did not give them instructions past that, and so they're just kind of like wandering aimlessly without purpose.
right then.
A little sad, but
If
Yeah.
Adoran tries to help, like if one stumbles and Adoran tries to help, is there any reaction?
not really. No.
So I'm sorry, you said it seems like they're basically like they got animated and then just abandoned, you said?
Yeah.
So they're not, or I think I'd be discussing this with Phaedra, not that he necessarily knows everything about everything, but being of the magical bent. I'm trying to determine, like, so are they basically automatons, or do they have any sentience? Are they beings? Or are they just...
I don't think if they are what I think they are magically animated constructs. I don't think there's any will there. There's no consciousness there. They're going through the motions of, they're trying to execute whatever their last commands were. And if their last, I would have, if I were to hazard a guess, their last command was probably to patrol and or defend this settlement that's since been abandoned. And whoever animated them left. And they're just doing this.
If it's morally non-objectionable, if there might be, I don't know, do you have anything in your bag that could maybe counter magic that would just make them regular suits of armor we could use?
Interesting. I don't have a specific counterspell to that.
And so mechanically, like you would know this. This is especially as a wizard, but I think just in general, these would be animated shells of something. So they do have a body, but they don't have a soul. They do have a ba. They do have a psyche,
Okay.
but they're not necessarily be considered people. Like they're,
but it's not quite the same as just like literally like a suit of armor that's walking around. It's like got a body as if it is a like.
Oh, it is a suit of armor that is walking around. Yes, but it is animated like a. But it's
it's animated. It's animated through like a specific magical spell that's animating it. It's not like it has a consciousness.
Yeah, well, but it's morally equivalent to a machine. Yeah,
it's very similar. It does have a kind of consciousness. That's the ba. What is lacking is
got a personality or psyche. Yeah,
right.
But not a soul or essence.
Not a soul. But that's the same thing as the like the radiation ghosts or whatever the ghosts outside the last Sarai are too.
They're they don't have bodies.
They're the opposite.
They do have personalities. Yeah, they're like this without the body. Yeah,
without the body.
What interesting philosophical discussions we find.
So Adoran is actually searching around to see if there are any obvious signs of protocol. And what I mean by this is searching the village. Are there any signs of authority or signs of, say, the center of the village or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can tell, and definitely, Ottokar, has some knowledge of what was here before, just from stories at least, and I think like it's likely that this was probably like a villa of some minor and not aristocrat, but like a well-to-do chitin merchant slash minor entrepreneur. But what if any any things that were there have long been disintegrated and or taken, and the buildings themselves are gone. Like you can see, like, oh, this is probably the main building, and here are like this might have. It's impossible to tell from at this point because they're so worn down. But like, oh, these are smaller buildings where maybe servants or other people in the town lived or whatever.
So
Uh,
here's the thing. Aderon is going to try to find something like a keystone or a hearthstone or something from the main building,
mhm.
pick it up, and wander away from the village or the villa and see if the armor will follow him.
um, I don't think they would recognize it. No.
Okay.
Yeah, they are pretty insensate.
Right. Well, I didn't know if they were tied to some anchor or if they're tied to the physical geography.
Yeah, I think they're less tied to the geography and more just their random walk does not take them far.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Um cool. Yeah. But otherwise they're just gonna be bumbling around forever.
All right, ray gun it is. No, I'm kidding.
Pew,
I'm not, gonna, not doing that. Let's see how they melt.
Okay, let's see this. So we are finishing up Green Month 2. Great. I think everyone's all rested up. No one needs to rest or anything. There are no
I
extra.
mean, I burned some life casting that spell,
Oh, that's
but
true. Yeah. Well, you can. I believe you can rest here if you like. Let me double check.
I'd say if we could find a decent place to like hole up, whether it's just like an abandoned building that's
Yeah, and I think
mostly intact and somewhat defensible.
Fallen Umber. You can rest in an abandoned plantation. Not even ghosts trouble this remote ruin. Um, yeah, would folks like to rest in an abandoned plantation?
What could possibly go wrong?
Um, everyone make an aura test for me. And I'm just looking for an 11.
All right.
I got an 18.
Great. Sleep like a baby.
I got a 6.
A 6. Great. Modan, um, what memories from childhood do you have?
I'm gonna use a hero die because I
Okay.
don't use them enough.
Yeah.
Usually sit there. They're there. We should use them. Let's see if that helps enough. Probably not, but so I got a 6 and a 5, 11.
11. Great.
Okay, but Aderon did roll a 4, and I am not
Oh,
using hero die.
great. Interesting. Interesting. So
Did
the
you roll a 4? I'm showing you rolled a 17.
Not, that's not what.
Oh, that's what I see too.
oh yeah, I see 17 for you.
Oh,
Seven-
I rolled.
Oh,
Terrible.
oh, maybe that was.
Yeah, because my
Oh
first
yeah,
roll
Modan
was
rolled
a
a 4.
4
Yeah.
Oh,
plus
okay.
my aura, and then I
Oh,
added
okay.
my
So I
5.
rolled a 17.
Good.
Can I pay the 17 and take the 4? I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
So the effect is sacrifice a small childhood memory, which is very interesting in your case. You don't have any.
Huh.
Cool. Yeah. So we'll let that one lie, I think.
Okay.
Um, great. I think yeah, if you want to rest here, heal up your life, that's fine. No extra days of tally. So yeah, I think we are at time then. And so we will return next time to start off in Fallen Umber and roll for destinations and whatnot there.
Sounds good.
Cool. Let me encounter. Great. Let's do stars and wishes. So let's go left to right. So that's starting with Mike.
Yeah, starts all around. A fun session as usual. I just love this setting, and I really love these characters and how things are shaking out. Big star to teal for that opening for that thing where we found where we found that like biomechanical repair drone, and you're like, yes, fix me. Like, what could possibly go wrong? It worked out really great, but I mean, like, yeah, that was totally what Aderon would do, and yeah,
Can't hug him anymore.
it's like one of those things where like Phaedrid was, I mean, I imagine the scene was like, Phaedrid was looking at this thing, and then and like just as it finally clicked to Phaedrid what you were actually doing, he was about to go no, and like, oh, well, okay, it's done. But yeah, I just thought that was great. I also loved how I also loved how you were like constantly like offering everyone tea. That was great. You offered it to our new companion, and offered it to the automatons, and yeah, I just love Aderon. I just think he's a great character. Heath, big star to you for the scene with that other like traveling companion, or that other traveling party where you went off. That was just like, yeah, I just thought that was, again, great scene. I think we got to see more of Modan being Modan, and yeah, the other people came off as kind of being like somewhere between jerks and like I'm too important to deal with the likes of you, and I just think you just played it really well. That was just a very delightful scene. I really enjoyed that, and also I think stars all around to all of us like you know dealing with this like sentient bear guy that we just like hired and let join our caravan. I'm actually really curious to see how that's going to turn out. I also like the fact that this is an NPC that we actually seem to have a certain, at least a certain amount of emotional investment in,
Mm.
unlike some of the previous NPCs we've picked up. So hopefully this will work out well. And Mark, big star to you for the whole like doing this like
Yeah.
Phaedra doing the psychic travel into this like weird maze thing portal, whatever it was. Yeah, that was like the way you were painting that was just really cool and also really creepy, and like what could possibly go wrong if he decided to like plumb the depths of this thing by
Yeah.
himself as a disembodied spirit. No, nothing could possibly go wrong there. Yeah, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Any wishes?
um my only wish is like, let's just I want to keep going. I want to see I want to see what more like high weirdness we're going to encounter in the grasslands.
Plenty more. Cool. Thank you, Heath.
Yeah, stars all around as usual. Let's everybody just fully into their characters, which is so much fun. And I also like that, like, I feel like all of our characters synergize really well as a party.
Mhm.
Because it could be really weird if you have one guy who's like, "Let's be friendly to everybody." If there was somebody else who's like, "No, everybody's probably trying to kill us. We need to approach them, knock them out of here, and steal their stuff or whatever." Just like I like the fact that it does, like that other party. As I'm sure it's because I rolled low. I just took as typical wariness on the road because
Yeah.
like you probably meet bandits and foam and like you don't know what the fuck you're gonna meet out here. It's like who are you? Why are you wandering about our camp? What the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. Suspicious
And
was the result.
yeah, so I like the fact that like while that's probably the perfectly reasonable attitude to have in this land, that we're all dedicated just being like, "Hi everybody, how are you? You a friend? Oh, you're not a friend, shit." And then we'll deal with it, but we always default to "you're a friend," which is fun. That we're makes us a good, again, it makes a good party that we're all different but yet synergize in a really good way like that. And then yeah, I can see like how it's really great for Mark to come from more story game stuff, because like this feels like a game where if that wasn't your experience, you could probably get lost a whole lot of like, oh, there's not a mechanic for this or a skill for, I'm not sure how we do it. Do you, or just, lots of strict blocks of like, well, you don't have this skill, so you can't open the obelisk or whatever, as opposed to just being like, yeah, okay, let's go with that, and that'll do this, and then we'll make this happen. And so yeah, I agree that I love the setting, but it's nice. I think it needs somebody like Mark who's like, yeah, I can roll with whatever and massage whatever, and we'll figure out how your set of skills applies to the situation. What can we do with it or whatever. Love that we got Ottokar, and y'all are in the other group I'm in with Mark that's been playing weekly for years now. We always joke that like our goal is always like more friends. We need to make more friends. How can we make them a friend and put them in the party? And so it's fun that we did that tonight too. Like, we got a friend, new friend.
Which is great in like the between.
Yeah, exactly.
You wind up with a vampire and a serial killer as part of your.
But then sometimes you go out in the between. We also had like one of our solutions was we take them to the cliffs, the Omega Cliffs, and throw them off.
There's that too.
Problem solved. So yeah.
The White Cliffs of Dover, aren't they beautiful? What?
Just a splash of red.
Wishes just to finish my fighting rank at some point. Always, yeah, just learning the system more, finding more ways to like leverage my skills. Not really for any like metagaming reason, like be more powerful, but just it's more fun.
Just gaming.
Like, oh, what can my character do? Oh, he's got this thing. Maybe this will apply here. It's just fun to try to figure out those pathways into like how I can use what my character has to do something. Like it dawns on me just now, I've had this beetle horse the entire time. We never talk about it. Never comes into play.
Yeah, that's the horse.
It's just part of the caravan.
Yeah.
So yeah, just finish that and keep exploring and find more things that we can pursue. I feel like there's a lot of things we come across that are kind of like, man, we can't really. Because I totally agree with like the psychic. The dull way, it's just sort of like, yeah, it's cool, it's interesting, I'd love to explore it, but it feels like that's not a good idea. And then same with like when we had like, oh man, we could complete this when the Teal wasn't here for this, but when we found the damaged autofac in the desert, it's like, oh, if you go on all these quests around the land, eventually you can fix it and it'll be like $1 million, blah blah blah. But it's like that would be literally the rest of the game, is us just pursuing whatever these quests are to fix the autofac.
Yeah. Then the campaign turns into a giant fetch quest.
Right. And so then it's like fun. I'm sure it'll still be fun, but then it's like, do we want to dedicate literally every game now to how to fix the autofac? Yeah. And so it was just a lot of decisions like that. Where it's like, cool thing, but might be a bit big in scope. Let's just move on. But so it's fun. It's fun. We find things that we can do or can pursue, or like getting a bear man in the party or whatever. But overall, it's all fun. There's not really any downsides to it. I think that's it for me.
Cool. And the Teal.
Yeah. So definitely stars all around. One of the things I like about watching Modan is that Aderon and Modan are both very open to strangers, but we have very different styles about how to approach it. And it's just fascinating to watch somebody else, because you have a lot of power with your friendliness, and then also the power of the bean. It's such a disarming. You're like, my goal in life and my power base is beans, and people are like, beans.
All right.
Okay, we don't feel threatened now.
This guy is no threat at all.
But it works really well, because you're like you said, you are here for the experiences. You've started the process for your being empire. You've paid off your debt, and you're just like, life is great. Let's see what there is to see. And it makes you very sort of charming, disarming towards people. So that's really interesting to watch. Um, and Phaedra, all I have to say is I think that that gateway is really cool, and we should go through it. Um, and if I was playing a magic character, which I am not because I randomly rolled my attributes and thought was the good one, so I was like, oh, no magic. Um, but I don't read that the risk I read with the gateway is, do you have to leave somebody behind to watch your bodies? And then what happens when you get to the other side? Do the bodies rematerialize? I mean, there are questions, but it seemed relatively innocuous. And I'm really curious where it would lead because it might lead someplace completely different.
But to that, Mark did say, "Oh, you rolled well, so your body wasn't destroyed."
Yep.
Right. And so I don't know how that plays into the situation. Obviously, I have an obsession with a green tower that's out to consume me, so I have more grasp
Many of
of my
those.
safety. Um, but I think in the context of this game, those are interesting choices to make
Mhm.
because it's just like making friends with Ottokar. That, especially for this group where we really are not bothered by strange. We're very comfortable with strange, you know, and he projected quite a bit of just being somebody who is living his own life and doesn't have a lot of agendas about how to take advantage of other people or things like that. So that's very appealing for our group. But if we hadn't all, tried to talk to him, then that wouldn't have happened. So I'm in favor of, I mean, this is one of the reasons why to keep taking risks, and it fits Aderon too, but it's just, I want to see what happens if I open the doors.
Mhm.
And I did level up actually in the middle of the adventure.
Nice.
And I think Aderon is going to add the master level of Flesh as Clay.
Nice.
And one of the things is Aderon has been, so through this trip, Aderon has been practicing bear form now. Aderon has also suddenly realized that, wait, I don't actually have a forward and a back necessarily. So Aderon is going to flip their head facing the opposite way to stick the
Nice.
bot on the back.
Nice.
So I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not limited to that.
Is your hatch still on the backside always, or does it flip?
Well, the hatch is under the bot, so I will have to solve that problem eventually. But
And I think it can be cajoled into moving, it's adjusting so you need to.
okay, yeah, if I can interact with it, maybe get it to not be on my hatch, that'd be helpful because
yeah, it's not hostile. It is a symbiotic thing now. But
right, okay, that's probably easier than
not
turning
parasite.
yeah. Technically, it's called a parasite, but it's not.
Yeah. I've also been practicing extruding eyes so that I have little antenna eyes.
Nice.
That's just useful.
Because that's not creepy at all.
Not to Aderon, it's not. He didn't know about the rest of you.
Just practical.
Exactly.
Cool. Any wishes?
My main thing is I want to say the Wall of Souls.
Mhm.
That was really cool. And I really like how we dealt with it. Because first of all, it's so strange.
Yeah.
But then we all realized that we probably shouldn't be doing what we were about to do. And there wasn't a lot of reason to. It would have been more tempting if they were like encased in gold or something.
Yeah.
But I thought that was very interesting because a lot of parties would like do exactly take or do
Yeah.
damage or whatever. And we all were just like, we'll just put these dead people.
Back.
How
Yeah.
many feet can we fit in the caravan?
Yeah, yeah.
I want a sack of feet. What?
They might have had some very nice shoes encased in crystal then. Um, but I really liked that just because one of the things I love about how we're playing, and this is sort of in the direction of the wishes, is just we're not treating the world as um, we're not treating the world as a place to do violence, and we're not treating the world simply as a transaction.
Yeah.
Granted, Phaedric's a little bit drawn in that direction because he's
Well, he's an advertising
yeah.
expert.
But it's so
Businessman.
businessman. There you go. That's part of your PR, right? Um, so, but I like it gives us a lot more room to explore the setting if we aren't limited in our interests.
Mhm.
I want to complete some things. That is my wish, is that we complete some things. I want Phaedra to be able to find the spells so that we can open up that crystal sphere.
Mhm.
And at some point, if like Adoram will volunteer to have Phaedra shove him through the portal. I want to see what's on the other side of that portal. But that's basically it. Keep doing what we're all doing, and but I do want to try and get some completions.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've opened up so many questions.
Mhm.
That's great, but I want to complete some of them.
All questions, no answers.
Great. You also get let's see, 200 XP from traveling and 80 from the mausoleum. So everyone gets 280 more experience. Yeah, this was super fun. It's fun to be back on the road again. Finding I've been really enjoying like going deep on the like porcelain and Sarai, but it's real fun to like spread out again and discover new weird stuff. Just like it's gonna be new, different weird things as we go. Fallen Umber's got a lot of weird stuff around it. So yeah, we'll do discoveries next time. We'll start off there. Let me write that down so I don't forget. Start with discoveries. Yeah, and it's a good time. It's cool to see leveling up happening and people kind of diving into different stuff. And yeah, stars are all around for being cool to play with. Awesome. Anything else before I stop the recording? Cool. Goodbye, internet.